Well, that should be on. So this turned very white suddenly. That's a little weird. Let's reload that. Okay. I don't really have any other plans other than just read this for a while and then head off for lunch, I guess. I have been very busy. I wanted to stream Friday or Saturday, but I had to work both days, so oh well. Okay, here we go. The long-awaited reunion. After countless days of waiting, the moment of reunion finally arrives. Baltilde and Nikita's footsteps echo through the corridor. The mysterious location info is akin to a bullet with no source. Who knows where it could lead them? Given their bid to find Dishvaya's whereabouts, Baltilde and Nikita choose to take the risk of following it, not knowing what kind of person had given them the coordinates. I'll go alone and that'll be enough. That way, I won't endanger you if I'm found out. I know Maggie's security's layout much better than you. Your chances of getting spotted will be minimized if you bring me along. Thanks. Have you thought about what to do if we get spotted? This is a path walked in darkness. One should count themselves lucky to have a companion at all. That's why I've never feared getting exposed. That's some bravery. You live still to be my favorite written character so far. That's not what I meant. Baltilde, who lost her words, rushes to explain. If your cover gets compromised because of Dishnai and me, why not retreat with us? I'm not as good as you in combat, but I'm pretty durable. I'll help you fend off Maggie's security. Besides, I've already backed myself up before coming here, so if we run into danger, just fight to your best without worrying about me. Many thanks, but I'll try to avoid that kind of scenario to begin with. Their conversation comes to an abrupt halt upon reaching their destination. The coordinates had pointed them to a spacious room. The room is filled with silence and stillness. Baltilde and Nikita exchange a glance, then separate in tacit agreement. They meticulously search every inch of the room, looking for any and all traces that might lead to Dishnaya. Nothing here. I'll try looking over there. A faint metallic sound comes from outside the door, breaking the deathly silence within the room. Oh no. With nerves taut, Baltilde reacts instantly. She lowers her center of gravity, preparing to rush toward the door. A hand grabs her wrist before she can do anything. Nikita shakes her head, then directs her gaze towards a half-opened metal cargo container that just searched. Rashly engaging the enemy would only ensure a swift end of their infiltration. Baltilde understood what Nikita meant. She has reason to suppress her desire to fight. The two dolls then swiftly slip into the cramped cargo container before quietly closing the door. Clack, clack, clack. The crisp sound of high heels grows louder as it draws near. Each and every step seemed to fit precisely into some sort of rhythm, clear and solitary. Sounds like only one person is approaching. The gap in the door is letting in a sliver of light, but it's not wide enough to help see the face of the person who arrived. The footsteps pass them by at an unhurried pace. Baltilde tenses her body again, ready to burst out of the container if the stranger makes a suspicious move. So this is the place. The unhurried yet clear footsteps suddenly come to an abrupt halt. Baltilde peers through the gap. She can only see a blurry figure standing before a workbench not far away. A rather familiar-looking doll frame lies on the workbench, seemingly sound asleep. Is that Dishnaya? Was I too late? The woman gently caresses the frame's face. She speaks softly, her voice threaded with an almost imperceptible sigh. One must be careful. The enemy will arrive before salvation does. If your frame is dismantled and your neurocloud is wiped, everything from the past will cease to exist upon your forgetting, even if you change your frame. Baltilde clenches her fist inside the cramped container. She sees it. Deshnevaya's frame is right there, on the workbench. She wants to rush out to save her immediately, but Nikita pushes her down, slowly shaking her head. The visitor's footsteps come to a halt right next to Deshnevaya, yet the silence feels far more terrifying than the continuous clacking of heels. The unknown threat hangs over them like an invisible, formless net, trapping them firmly, boiling them in anxiety every passing second. We can't just sit here and watch Deshnevaya get wiped. We must intervene despite the danger. The thought shoots through Baltilde's neurocloud in an instant. She clenches her fist, about to push open the container door. Clack, clack. The walking continues. The stalled footsteps suddenly resume, but this time, they head straight for Baltilde and Nikita's container. A long time ago, when the clouds veiled the stars, you asked me if I'd never find our way home again. The woman's voice carries an upward inflection, as though she were recalling an interesting memory. To that I said, our way home will never be lost. Just as these stars may sometimes play hide and seek with us, sometimes we simply have to reach out and catch our way home. Catch your own destiny. Her voice draws near. She's almost right outside the door. Once we catch it, why don't we try hiding the stars in a cargo container? We've been discovered. Ooh, two people on the same side, fighting each other because they're confused. I found you, you little rats. Are you gonna come out, or will I have to drag you out? The one who strikes first has the upper hand. It can't be helped. Prepare for battle. The brief clash ends with the blue-haired doll nimbly taking a few steps back, successfully dodging Nikita and Baltilde's attack. She stands under the light and offers them both a gentle smile. Perhaps we can put an end to this overly warm welcome. I believe that we aren't enemies. Lowering her head, the blue-haired doll looks at the face of the doll lying on the workbench, her expression of one of tender affection. The calm, gentle demeanor makes Nikita come to a swift realization. Are you the real DP-12? I'm glad you haven't forgotten me, VSK-94. Correct. I was DP-12 during my time in Griffin. But now, you can call me my real name, Helen. Helen. Long time no see. DP-12. You're the one that Shvaya was looking for? Dushevnyaya. Did this child go back to that name? Helen's smile softens even more as she caresses Dushnevaya's sleeping face. She fixes her gaze on Baltilde, tilting her head in curiosity. What's your name? Are you her new friend? This is Baltilde, a fellow companion of ours. We came to find Deshnevaya and you. Baltilde shoots the sleeping doll a glance before nodding stiffly. Hello, Deshnevaya and our companions from the doll community. How is Deshnevaya doing? We're too late. Her no cloud has already been wiped. Looks like Mega Security didn't want her to leak any info. What? Damn it. This is my fault. If I were a T-doll, And that Mangi security team might have taken me in, and Dishnavaya would never... Do you mean Mangi security reached out to Dishnavaya? Yeah, when we went to meet Dishnavaya in the Yellow Zones, she had already lost her memory. She knew nothing about her past. But when she tried to process her neural cloud, she suddenly remembered the name DP-12. Then her location was sent to Mangi security through a back door in her neural cloud. A voice that she described as familiar soon made a call, requesting that she meet her at Mangi security. Something's off about this. Helen furrows her brow slightly. When Griffin restructured back then, Dishnavaya and I were accepted in Mangi security together. We spent our time carrying out basic escort missions. That child worked really hard, always trying her best to complete her missions perfectly. And because of that, she happened over here until she wasn't allowed to know. The conglomerate ordered her destruction. Back then, I tampered with her identification code in order to save her from destruction, then falsified records of her destruction. Mangi security shouldn't be able to pursue her after that, by right. Who could that familiar sounding voice belong to? I'm Dishnavaya's only friend within Mangi security. We have no idea either, to be honest. But someone from Mangi security did try to reach out. And because of that, she decided that she had to come back for the truth, no matter what. Helen's eyelids lower slightly, as though she let out a quiet sigh. This child, after spending all this time separated from me, after finally getting away from danger, she throws herself right back into it. Her attempts to find me will only land us in even worse trouble, in situations that are far harder to deal with. Perhaps she came here because it was you that they're targeting, not her. Someone from Tlazo seems to want your neurocloud wiped. That was why Dishnavaya got herself taken back to Mangi security. But I've stayed clear of all classified intel from Mangi security, and the conglomerate. Perhaps your neurocloud carries something worth that even you don't know about? I once saw your files in Project Coronal Hole. They were written differently from your current records in Mangi security. Right now, your appearance matches the photo from your Project Coronal Hole participant files. What's Project Coronal Hole? Your eyeball. My clearance isn't high enough to access details of this project, so I can't explain it to you in full. But your name is indeed on the project's list. I see. I'll try to get intel on that project in the future. Then, what should we do now? Can we still restore Dishnavaya's neurocloud? Baltilde points anxiously at the frame atop the workbench, which appears to be sound asleep. Her old backups should still exist within Mangi security, but there have naturally been no backups since her departure. Then we can only bring her frame back to the ELMO. We backed up our data to the commander's ELMO before we left. You two met the commander? The word commander is like a pebble cast into a calm lake, sending ripples and waves across Helen's calm neural space. She'd been searching for that name for far too long. She started using Lentine's clearance within Mangi security the moment she started working with her, sifting through vast amounts of intelligence on the regular. Yet she was never able to find any concrete information. But now, after years of searching, information about the person she's been seeking for suddenly fell within her reach. Gazing at that unfamiliar doll standing before her, Helen's heart floods with an inundation of tangled feelings. The sheer volume of information leaves her momentarily speechless. Her thoughts are instantly overrun with questions and worries about that individual. What is the commander thinking about now? What is the commander's goals? An overwhelming number of questions start to surface from the depths of her neural cloud. Watching Helen sink into thought, Niketa gestures towards her comms equipment. Would you like to talk to the boss? Is that really okay? Would calling Commander right now cause any problems? The Commander is wanted right now. If I reach out recklessly just like this, I'm afraid it'll only bring the Commander trouble if the enemy discovers it. Helen suddenly becomes talkative. She keeps voicing her worries one after another, yet the light in her eyes only grows brighter. We've set up a specially encrypted, anonymous comms channel. All call data is destroyed immediately. It should be fine to call him, as long as we aren't dealing with an exceptionally skilled intel expert, like the one we ran into before. By the way, were you the one who helped us fight off the enemy just now? The enemy of my enemy is to me someone worth helping temporarily. I didn't know you guys were on the same who you guys were at the time. I prepared for both outcomes when I sent you the location. If you guys were enemies, I'd never let you leave Maggie's security. Based on the tracking data, our enemy is a doll sent by Tlazo Incorporated. I believe she's called Cocoon? As long as we can confirm their identity, we will at least not be caught off guard when we deal with them. Now give me a moment to configure my equipment, then I'll connect you to the boss. I'll leave it to you then. While Nikita is working to set up the call, Helen simply stands still, lost in a daze. Her eyes lose focus while her hands silently collapse into fists. Only when Nikita gestures for her to speak with the commander does she return from the swirling whirlpool over her own thoughts. After a long, hesitant pause, Helen finally builds up the courage to put the call through. Have you been well, Commander? Helen's voice wavers. She fights to keep it even, yet a subtle tremor in her voice slips through, revealing the cracks made from the years of buried longing and a restless heart. Nikita filled me in on the situation, yours and Dushnavaya's. Dushnavaya and Beltil took great risks coming here, but finding you makes it all worthwhile. Commander, what are you doing right now? You wanted within Green Zone and White Zones right now. The bounty on me is indeed quite troublesome. I won't be able to head into any green or white zones in a while. The yellow zones are currently beyond the conglomerate's reach, so I've been thinking about establishing a temporary base somewhere within one. A base? The channel falls silent. Helen casts her gaze down to the cold metal floor, tracing its crisscrossing lines if an answer can be found within them. After a long silence, she opens her mouth. This time, her voice is soft and quiet. Have you found a place of belonging, Commander? Neither the URNC nor Willis Griffin is where I belong. I did think about establishing my own base in the Yellow Zone, though I haven't been able to make it happen just yet. Helen raises her head sharply, her eyes alight with fierce urgency. The following sentence costs her nearly all her courage. Then, please allow me to be by your side. No. Please let me build a place of belonging with you. And all the years I spent waiting for you to return, I've regretted it countless times. I regret that I knew only how to wait, just like a tool. I've lived on with such regrets over and over again. When Dushnavaya asked me when we'd finally find a place of belonging, I promised her that, in the future, I would build that very place with my own two hands. This time, the silence lasts even longer. Not the silence of rejection, but a silence woven of surprise, wistfulness, and the emotion of a profoundly moved heart. Does my request put you in a tight spot, Commander? No, I was just feeling kind of moved. right now, the wealth inside us the human seek are of no value to us. For me, besides those who see us as cherished companions, that would be a place of belonging. The only place we need. Finally, the voice from the other side end of the call speaks again, this time carrying a hint of relief and imbued with a familiar warmth. Would you like to come to the ELMO once Justify is in better condition? Helen's taut shoulders finally slump in that very instant, as though an immense burden had finally been lifted. I've wanted to hear that for so long. Now that we have your whereabouts, Baltailed can leave ASAP. They took on this infiltration mission in order to find you, and to find out why Mega Security attacked the doll community. Rest assured that I will do everything in my power to help. Of course, if you want intel from Mega Security right now, I can even help you with that too. Thank you. We're short on time, so let's prioritize rescuing Deshnavaya. I'll let you know if anything else is needed later. Okay then. Please take care, Commander. I'll be looking forward to the day we reunite aboard the ELMO. Once the call ends, Helen brings her hand to her chest, as though she was fighting to hold back the torrent of emotions that are flooding her neural cloud. She finally calms down after a long while, offering a smile to Niketa and Baltild. Thanks to you both risking your lives to help, I now know everything about Dishnavaya's situation. But I haven't been able to retrieve her old backup yet. We might still need some prep time before we can leave Mega Security. Lowering her hand, Helen gently smooths out Dishnavaya's tangled hair. I will look after Dishnavaya's frame in the meantime. You can use this time to investigate the reason why Mega Security attacked your community. Understood. I'll try to hide myself the best I can. Your current frame doesn't seem suited for combat. I'll pull some strings of the clearance I can use in order to arrange a frame replacement for you. Really? That's possible? Thanks, and sorry for the trouble. No need to thank me. They're all Mega Security's assets, so I hope you don't mind using them. After your frame replacement, I'll tamper with your ID so you can slip back right into the deployment lineup. They've been trying to enhance Mega Security's combat strength lately, so a new batch of dolls just put into active use. I'll keep in contact, so reach out to me whenever you need help. But remember, hold off on hacking into Mega Security's database for the time being. The enemy we've encountered possesses considerable skill in intel processing. We must be careful not to run into them again. Goal accomplished. Finally met back with the commander. After 15 very long years for her. They're a little bit less because she was unconscious part of it. Mutual use, an insistence of cooperation featuring mutual readiness and using each other. After finalizing the infiltration plan for Niketa and Baltild, DP-12 composed herself and returned to Lentine's office. The office is tidy and cold as always, just like its owner. It's all KSVK. Lentine asked in an even tone, continuing to flip through her documents without bothering to look up. I was too late. Her neurocloud has been wiped. I tried to block the procedure, but our opponent's authority is higher than mine. Not your fault. You mean the third-gen doll named Cocoon took it upon herself to edit and expedite the wipe procedure? Doesn't matter what the truth is. Best for us to assume the answer is yes. I understand, but we both have experience editing some of Mega Security data. Though, I guess our tiny edits will never lead to any huge changes. The same cannot be said for Cocoon. Lentine puts down her documents, leans back her chair, crosses her hands. Vishnavia's backup is in my hands. You don't have to worry too much. As long as you keep cooperating with me, I'll give you KSVK's neural cloud once you get me what I want. I failed to save her yet again. A rare look of dejection crosses DP-12's face. Lentine glanced before standing up with her arms crossed. I've looked at KSVK's latest status report. Ever since the older wipe procedure got forcefully cut short, her neural cloud has remained in disarray. Destruction precedes creation. With her mind now thoroughly wiped, she might now actually be able to return to normal. Is the result the only thing that matters? Does the process not matter? Neither sentiment will only introduce unexpected variables that may disrupt the plan. Your kindness seems to reserve what's absolutely necessary. Excessive emotion only serves to cloud your judgment, DP-12. That third-gen doll named Cocoon has a normally high clearance level 1. I suspect that Talazzo is giving her nearly all the possible permissions they can give. It's highly likely that she personally issued the mission pertaining to KSVK. She is interested in you. That doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone be interested in a doll that went missing years ago? I still don't know what her goal is. The goal doesn't matter. Think of a way to dispose of her, or hack into her neural space. Just make sure that she can't find the records that I edited back then. Keep it clean. I don't want to attract unnecessary attention and trouble. Of course, in any case, I want to thank you for taking on the risk of keeping KSVK's backup. Then you better help me clean up the mess on their hands ASAP. Please don't worry, everything is going as planned. Lonnie getting investigated was my first step. The enemy's permission comes from the conglomerate, so this conveniently serves as evidence as their collusion. Overtly obvious intel will only make the enemy suspicious. Vague clues like these work better on those self-proclaimed geniuses. Let them puzzle over the clues all they want. Sounds good. This time, I must give everyone who tried to use me as a pawn the shock of their lives. I'm kind of rooting for her, which is really funny. By the way, make sure that all the mention of Omen gets completely scrubbed from the mission. I'm not stupid enough to saddle myself with the charge of betrayal the UNC yet. But that guy, though, it won't be long before the accusation gets pinned squarely onto his head. Do not want to betray the UNC myself yet. You seem to place a great deal of trust in the commander. Trust? No, it's disappointment. Only a fool would throw away everything within arm's reach for the sake of what they call ideals. If I possessed everything he had back then, I would have done much better than him. What he discarded was precisely the opportunity I've always dreamed of. I'll never be able to agree with the choice he made. She'd make a different choice. What does she mean? DP-12 looks at the woman before her, an undisguised ambition to climb upwards burning in those eyes. Absolute confidence in her own abilities, the conviction that she could change the world. DP-12 could glimpse in the Lentine a faint shadow of who the commander once was, every now and then. She understood long ago. Lentine's initial collaboration with her and KSVK was merely curiosity towards the legendary commander. She was hoping to prize some commander-related intel from the two dolls. Their partnership is fragile enough to shatter at a touch. The moment Lentine loses interest in the commander, or when the risks of collaboration outweigh the benefits, their relationship will come to an abrupt end. To Lentine, dolls have always been, perhaps, nothing more than tools unworthy of a second thought. She could be used as a disposable pawn by Lentine at any moment. But that call with the commander was like a ray of warm light, piercing through the long winter that had frozen over Helen's heart. The confusion and uncertainty of the past had dissolved in an instant. Helen's desire to break free from Mega's security has never been stronger than now. However, There's still some work that has to be done before she leaves. She must make full use of every permission she currently possesses if she wants to bring the commander better intel. Someone knocks on Lintine's office door. The aide who always follows Lintine interrupts the conversation between her and DP-12. Adjutant Lintine, all preparations are complete. Good, let's move out. Time to clean up the mess those good-for-nothings left behind. Lintine steps out of the office, taking the lead of her squad to prepare for the trip to the mission site. She comes face to face with Lonnie in the empty corridor. Displeasure is written all over his face, malice nearly spilling from his eyes. Lintine ignores the hostility leaking out of him. She stops with perfect composure, then takes the initiative to raise a hand in greeting, her attitude bordering on provocation. Well, well, I expect nothing less. With connections like yours, you're already out. Lintine, don't go thinking that Omen can become Mangi Security's first echelon. Know your place. Don't even dream of climbing over me. Your staff invited me to assist, you know. I'm happy to pull out any time. If you want to swap assignments, I'll go along with whatever gets arranged. You actually submitted a request for help? Well, the enemy had been difficult to deal with, and the hires have been urging us hard. They said us to spare an expense. The budget can be doubled, you know. Lintine, you expect me to believe you'd be that generous? I don't buy a single word of yours. I'm heading that way anyway. In any case, the higher-ups have been hounding about this stuff for a while now. Hounding us about this stuff. I still don't know exactly what their goal is. If your intel network hadn't collapsed along with you yet, you should know the mission is no longer being executed separately. The conglomerate's mission has been split into two. Part of it is to be handled by you, while the rest is my responsibility. It's an additional assignment that we just arrived. Lonnie, don't look so don't you supposedly have connections everywhere? I'd actually like to ask you something. What exactly is hiding behind those coordinates? Contrary to her usual unapproachable demeanor, Lintine takes the initiative to move closer to Lonnie, her softened manners clearly putting Lonnie at ease. All sorts of rumors have been popping up non-stop ever since the explosion of Lviv. The outpost we're heading to, there won't be high levels of radiation, will there? Mangi Security isn't dumb enough to take on that kind of dirty work yet. It's just another job till the money's right. Why overthink it? You'd better know your place. Compared to those PMCs out there who take on everything and everything, the pay and treatment here is already more than fair. I can tell you this. The UNC's dedicated investigation team has already officially arrived at Lviv. As for those famous companies that everyone knows about, which of them can honestly claim that their hands are totally clean? Mangi Security will only keep getting more work for the time being. Drag things out a little, and who knows, they might raise the budget again. I actually like collaborating with you, in certain ways. What did you mean by that? At the very least, working with you won't leave me in the red. Let's move out. Conglomerate paid double, isn't they? Surely spending a bit on the commission my way won't be a problem. The moment Mangi Security sets out for the mission, their movements are made known to the ELMO through Nikeda's anonymous comms channel. A sense of unease gradually spreads through the doll community upon hearing that the enemy is attacking again. Once again, the ELMO joins the defense at the request of Suomi and the doll community. Helen, who is currently still in Mangi Security, quickly notifies me as well. Mangi Security forces officially departed. This mission is time-sensitive, so they should arrive quite soon. We'll prepare for the coming battle. I wouldn't recommend engaging them directly, Commander. Based on the intel I've gathered, what the Mangi staff intended to has no direct conflicts with your interests. In fact, it'd be better if you don't get involved at all. From what I know, this assignment is considered a dirty job. They've been investigating and clearing a number of specific coordinates. You're already a wanted man, so it would be better not to drag yourself into further trouble. I'm afraid that a direct engagement is unavoidable. The location they're heading to... is exactly where Balhild and the others have their base. If that's so, then I probably can't really make that area disappear without notice. Will the execution be difficult? Don't worry. I'll use my positions to plan out the best course of action for you. With Mega Security's main force deployed to the outer perimeter, taking action is now easier for me and Nikita. Just Devi and I are under Helen's arrangement for now, so we don't have to worry about Mega Security discovering us for the time being. Hey, your new frame! That's wonderful. Everyone has finally met up inside. Now all that's left is make out of Mega Security and come back safely. Indeed, but we still need to find just Devi's backup inside Mega Security since it contains important intel. Once we have it, we'll know whether the community will be safe moving forward. Don't worry. Balhild, now that the commander helps, community's worries have eased considerably. It's you guys that we need to be worried about. You're operating inside the enemy base after all. Please be careful. If you can't win a fight, find an opportunity to run. Don't push yourselves. There's no need to worry. I've already diverted some surplus assets from Mega Security to install a fire control core for Balhild. Now that I have fire control, I'll be able to contribute more in future battles. It's unfortunate that I can't come back to help you guys right away, but please stay safe. Let's just abandon our temporary base if the need arises. Your care and concern for us is abundant, Balhild. Alright, I promise you. We'll make the decision based on what happens in the coming battle. If our enemy doesn't target the community's locations, we'll just put up bitter resistance before falling back. I've uploaded details regarding the reapproaching Mega Security forces to the ELMO. Thank you for your hard work. Good luck, everyone. Commander, we spotted the enemy. Preparing to engage. Oh no! Kaboom!
不躲开吗？就算会受伤。依照相关条例，你被捕了。
Damn it, the rover. Prioritize protecting the rover. Requesting backup. I repeat, requesting back emergency backup. Just retreat if you can't win. The enemy isn't as strong as you make them out to be. We won't be willing to clean every mess, even if we can take every single one of them. You're telling me that a handful of enemies who run off when you actually try to fight them have been keeping you taking this area? I don't see why you're having so much trouble. They're just a little hard to catch. Some unknown faction attacked us. They're dolls too, but they're too strong. We won't be able to protect this rover if it keeps up. Please, I'll give you half the mission's pay. No, 80%. Just help me. Fine, we're on our way. Just as the team was half-hearted preparing to order her team to change course, an encrypted call comes through. DP-12, what's going on? The UNC representatives have just made an official visit to Mega Security. Interesting. The conglomerate reacted by issuing an urgent directive demanding you complete your mission ASAP. They're fast-tracking the approval process. Received. Carmen Ignacio has issued an additional direct order. Halt all directives and head to the designated coordinates immediately. The higher-ups have finally taken action, but the dynamic has already shifted. In her favor, maybe? Help me check exactly what those coordinates have in store for me. Okay, I searched Mega Security's internal database, but found no relevant data. I can tell that's going to be a pile of trouble, even without any data. Hurry up. Make a move on that third-gen doll and see if you can put on any intel from her. You're putting too much trust in me. Well, I do hold enough bargain chips to make you do your best, no? Indeed. I'll send you any new intel I get ASAP. All units, retreat and relocate. What's going on? Why aren't you guys here to support us yet? I just got direct orders from Carmen. A new mission. Retreat if you can't win. Don't do anything stupid. Retreat! Now! At Mega Security, while Lentine is out in the field, Helen fulfills her promise. She makes use of all available clearances to gather all possible intel related to the top brass in Lviv. The recently arrived URNC investigators have stationed themselves at Mega Security to conduct their own investigation. Among their ranks, a doll named Heli catches Helline's attention. According to a summary of the URNC's requests, they asked Mega Security to grant them full access to all databases. What makes it strange that name Heli was a complete blank in all systems. Despite being entrusted with such an important task, she was a ghost in all but her name. Perhaps she's something much more complex and troublesome than I could have ever imagined. She might even possess an unfathomably high intel clearance level. If Mega Security's database gets fully open to her, then all records will be laid bare. Looks like I'll have to exercise more caution. Access logs, traces of erasure. I can't leave behind anything that could serve as a clue. Still, this is also a perfect opportunity for me to guide the flow of intel. I wonder how long this Miss Carmen, who I've never met before, can hold out under the URNC's pressure. At Plaza Incorporated, Berryfield makes a call to Carmen. Why do you reject Cocoon's intel processing requests? While Mega Security does work for the conglomerate, there's no reason for us to open our databases to you. From what I know, the URNC has already submitted their investigation request. Who's going to guarantee the URNC won't uncover something critical if there's no third-gen doll processing data for you? Please relax. I've already processed one round of intel. As for the URNC investigation team stationed at Mega Security, which includes a specialist doll named Heli, we've specially arranged staff to host them. Heli? You're certain that specialist's name is Heli? Correct. Is there a problem, ma'am? To be frank, she only requested read access to a small portion of intel, which is far less than what Miss Cocoon requested. If that's really the Heli I know, she's the most important part of the conglomerate's plan. Her capabilities far exceed anything you can imagine. Underestimating her presence will only put us at a disadvantage. Rest assured, we only handle Mega Security's internal intel in a proper manner. Everything provided to her will be processed beforehand. There will be no risk. Plaza Incorporated and Mega Security share common interests. We have no reason to leak intel to the URNC investigators on purpose. If our interests are common, then grant Cocoon access ASAP. I'm afraid that's not possible, ma'am. The work Plaza commissioned, we've completed it. The sensitive intel, we've processed it too. Mega Security makes our conglomerate, but our boundaries need to be made clear. We're not a part of you. The call ends on a sour note. Berryfield hangs up, paces through the office restlessly for a bit, then calls Cocoon. Mega's refused to give us access. Now what? The URNC's investigation is well underway, and this time they sent Heli. Oh, Heli got deployed this quick. Sounds like something truly serious has happened to Lviv. They're all in the dark about Pandora's box being opened. Since you know it's serious, hurry up and deal with Mega Security's problematic intel. There's no time to waste. You know what it could mean for us if Heli discovers issues with the corporations under my name, right? Of course. Worry not, ma'am. Heli's involvement is well within Mr. Zimmerman's predictions. Cocoon flashes an elegant, confident smile. I'll take care of Mega Security's database. I'll make sure to prevent Heli from obtaining any intel that can put Plaza in an unfavorable position. Good. Then I'll leave the rest to you. In the conference room for Mega Security's executives, through the comms, Heli delivers the URNC investigation demands in a flat, mechanical tone devoid of all emotion. Whoa, I just got really lightheaded for a second. What the heck? After looking through Plaza's Incorporated past commissions records, we found that Mega Security took on much of the corresponding tasks. Given that Plaza Incorporated is currently under suspicious for possible involvement in the Lviv explosion, we ask you to fully cooperate with the URNC investigation. Cooperate? Of course we'll cooperate. We'll spare no effort to comply with the URNC's requests. Whatever intel you need, I will provide. Carmen's lips curve into a perfect corporate smile. She stops dead in her eyes. I need access to all of the Mengi Security's mission archives for the past decade. Ah, well, that will be troublesome. Carmen lets out a deliberately beleaguered smile. It's not that I'm unwilling to help, it's that our past mission archives are internally classified as top secret. Mengi Security has been mainly operating within the green zone and white zones these past few years. Plaza was merely one of our many clients. I'll be happy to cooperate with your investigation, but there's absolutely no justification for exposing our entire company's commercial secrets over a single business partner. I can limit the scope of the investigation to all matters pertaining to Plaza Incorporated and its affiliates. And how broad is pertaining to defined? All of it. As long as any form of connection exists, I will need to see it. I'm sorry, but that is far too broad. Mengi Security has strict non-disclosure with every conglomerate. What you're requesting will make us breach our contracts with other partners. It's not that we're refusing to cooperate, it's just that what you're requesting to investigate already makes us breach our non-disclosure agreements. You know that major conglomerates maintain close cooperative relations with every city and state, man. If a one-sided investigation of Mengi Security were to widen the scope, it would affect conglomerate stock prices and cause public panic. If it triggers a cascade of economic and civil crisis, the results will make things seriously difficult for both you and us. We are fully willing to cooperate with the investigation. However, for matters that involve our partners' confidential info, we will need to consult those partners. I'm afraid that I cannot make all information available to you until we receive disclosure authorization from all our partners. We need to follow proper procedure. This goes both ways. I'm sure you understand, ma'am. You're a government-appointed specialist. In that case, I can begin with the investigation limited strictly to partnership between Mengi Security and Tulazo Incorporated. As for the inquiries involving all the parties, I will submit authorization requests for them immediately. The leave of matter requires prompt results. Please cooperate with my investigation. Of course, we will do our best to cooperate. We'll arrange for the clearances you need at once. Mengi Security welcomes the URNC's supervision at all times. However, if a guest comes looking to steal our trade secrets, we will have the right to refuse them. The name Heli soon appears on Mengi Security's visitor list within the database with red permissions. Cocoon, who had been keeping a close eye on the intel database, spotted the new visitor the moment she granted access. Special Investigation Heli. My apologies. But your investigation ends here.
出色的指挥，长官，让我来弹奏一曲庆祝胜利吧。
Alrighty. Source divergence. Similar, yet dramatically different entities, now entwined with each other.
好了，就是这里。
Alright, this is the spot. Helen places Yushnavaya, whose neural cloud has been temporarily shut down, onto a makeshift workbench. She then guides Baltilde, who has just undergone emergency frame repairs, to sit down in a small room. After all that, Helen lets out a quiet sigh of relief. This is a room that only Helen has access to. It can be considered her one and only safe house within Mengi Security, where she can let her guard down, if only just a little bit. Until Yushnavaya's neural cloud starts up again, and until Baltilde's investigation is complete, she intends to let both of them rest here. Thank you. The fire control of the frame are probably quite expensive. Sorry for the trouble again. Voltil's tone somewhat stiff, as though she's not used to accepting help so directly. Still, are you sure it won't get discovered? To be honest, repairing my frame with the scraps Maggie's security discarded would have sufficed. A basic combat loader isn't deemed anything valuable within Maggie's security at all. Don't worry. What a waste. Discarded materials in that warehouse alone could sustain our doll community for a long time. Baltilde mutters under her breath, words flavored with palpable lament. All frame repair materials are difficult to find in the mill zone. I'm used to scavenging everything I need from ruins. That must have been hard. Life in the L zone as a homeless, lone doll must not be easy. I once thought that when I'm done dealing with all our troubles, I'd be able to find Desmaya right away. I never expected this separation to last quite so long. Still, it was quite fortunate that she found new companions and reunited with the commander while I wasn't with her. I didn't expect you to trust the commander so much. Suomi and Litara are the same as you. It's surprising me just how much you guys trust the commander. Even though we've all been betrayed by bounty hunters before. One size fits all is not a good approach, you know. A lighthearted chuckle escapes her lips. He's special. I know. It's just that we once thought about relying on trading with humans for some materials, yet our past experiences taught us that humans can never fully be trusted. Suomi and Litara kept suggesting that we ask the commander for help when the current crisis hit us. To be honest, I don't really have the right to stop them, because in the end, I accept the commander's help myself. You and Desmaya aren't really quite alike due to your fears of getting hurt. You don't have to blame yourself for this. No, what? I don't have a habit of blaming myself. Afraid of losing your value and being thrown away. Afraid of not being acknowledged. That's why you're always trying to do something to prove your own worth. Helen's gaze softens as though she's looking at someone else through Baltilde. Dushnavaya kept these villains carefully bottled away for a very long time. The Dushnavaya you're describing is completely different than the Dushnavaya we met. I'm glad. She managed to set off on a completely new journey without me by her side. Is that really okay with you? If we can't recover Dushnavaya's original backup, it's possible she'll never remember anything about you. Then we'll simply have to make new memories. Rather than stay trapped in the past that can't be changed, we should face the future with confident, open arms. I've always believed that for both humans and dolls, the nature engraved within the core of an individual never changes, even if the memories are tampered with or forgotten. So no matter what Dushnavaya comes, she will always be my stalwart companion. And of course, the same goes for the commander. I wonder, what does the commander's plan do now, after all these years? Helen smooths the hair draped over her shoulder, allowing a faint smile to show on her face. We'll need to pick up the pace a little if we want to reunite with the people we so long to see. Still, the safest course of action for now is to wait. We'll wait for most of Maggie's security to go off duty, then make our move. Understood. I'll wait for the opportune moment. I won't crash and cause trouble for you. Tampering with intel does still carry the risk of being discovered. We must prioritize caution in our actions. Don't worry. I'm not directly tampering with any data. I'm simply giving the intel a bit of adjustments. Adjustments? To an opponent skilled in digesting intel. Hasty additions or deletions are extremely easy to detect. The ideal approach is to make adjustments and substitutions without anyone noticing. For example, when I needed to ensure KSVK safety, I didn't release all intel related to her outright. Instead, I swapped her identification code with mine. That kind of operation requires an insider to provide cover, though. Once intel is tampered with, it will inevitably leave some sort of trace behind. Lintine's team had far more human employees than dolls. That's why I didn't ask you to infiltrate her squad. Perhaps some past experience have made her deeply wary of us. Most humans don't even treat dolls with respect. The fact that she go out of her way to be on guard against dolls is pretty unusual. By the way, how did Defiance doing right now? There's no need to worry for now. Her backup is in Lintine's position. I'll find a way to get it back. Once I do, it'll be time for us to leave. Jushnamaya's most recent backup's on the commander's vehicle. If things get too dangerous, we can just think up a way to retreat. Our number one objective is coming here was to help Jushnamaya find you and confirm whether she, as KSVK, is indeed being continuously tracked. As long as the latter is not the case, we can prioritize retreating if we run into danger, returning to a safe location within the doll community. The faction tracking Jushnamaya, no, the enemy tracking just me, is highly likely that doll named Cocoon. Jushnamaya's neurocloud wipe was her doing as well. I still don't understand why she's so interested in me. I'm certain we've never crossed paths before all this. Jushnamaya once said she felt a sense of familiarity from that doll. I haven't met this third-gen doll in person yet, but I'm sure she has her own secrets to hide. As an intel processing doll agent for the conglomerate, the clearance she possesses is so extensive that it makes me kind of envious. With that kind of clearance, why would she bother paying attention to small fries like Niketa and me? I'm curious about that too. Her methods for responding to intel attacks are also rather similar to mine. Please don't be an actual Divergence copy of her, because that'd be insane. Maybe we're similar doll models? Well then, this is a good opportunity to look into it. I'll come through every piece of intel she's ever handled, every access path she's ever taken. I'll search for her real objective through whatever traces I can find. Let's take a closer look at this Miss Cocoon who keeps trying to find me. And then, once she did choose to wipe my neurocloud, we'll see what secrets she's hiding. Having successfully hacked into Mangy's security database, Helen traces Cocoon's intel operations paths. As she sorts through the information Cocoon has accessed, a flood of intel pours into her neurocloud. A mysterious secret laboratory under Tlazo Incorporated, researchers named Chilveg, and Mangy Security's additional missions, DP-12, and the person at the epicenter of the Lviv explosion. The unknown shadows gradually emerge from the fog. Facing the consolidated information, Helen smiles knowingly. Oh, how interesting. What did you find? I didn't expect this. Cocoon had already tampered with Tlazo's internal data on a massive scale before he even got to it. Good thing I already read and copied the data beforehand. If not, I would have probably not detected any of her edits. But why did she do that? She did it to counter the URNC's investigators, I'm afraid. The explosion in Lviv implicated Talazzo. And guess what Cocoon did? She systematically removed everything that connected Talazzo to it and other related incidents. If the investigators rely on the latest version of the data, they'll definitely be led to the wrong conclusion. Damn it. They go this far just to dodge an investigation? But it doesn't end there. She also secretly wiped out area coordinates in Mangi Security's missions. So the community must have been attacked because of that? Why did she change them? At the moment, it seems the initial changes were still done to counter URNC's investigation. To avoid trouble from said investigation, Talazzo made an urgent request to Mangi Security to destroy all evidence by wiping out every potentially problematic lab in the Yellow Zone. It was supposed to be an additional mission with clearly defined targets, but Cocoon's tampering has shifted the target coordinates far away from the original. Look, here's the original zone they were supposed to wipe out. How is the original course don't include most of our doll community missions at all? So if that's the case, was the Mangi Security's initial run-in with our doll community really just a pure coincidence? Only partially. On one hand, Cocoon's tampering helped divert the UNC attention, concealing Talazzo's real labs. On the other hand, she got exactly what she wanted by making use of Talazzo's missions, an all-out search, stretching all the way from the Yellow Zone to the edges of the Red Zone. She'd be relying on chance to find the trail of DP-12, though she would inevitably find it through her countless investigations. Just a clean brush sweep, that's insane. But how is she so certain there will be traces left by DP-12 out there? I mentioned just now that once Intel is tampered with, it will inevitably leave some sort of traces behind. That statement applies to me as well. No matter how flawless the deception is, nothing is ever the same once altered. If I can deduce the guess Cocoon's taking, then it's totally possible she can do the same in reverse. Looks like this Miss Third Gen doll is more capable than I had imagined. I'd love to face her head on if the opportunity arises. Then, since Cocoon thinks DP-12 already went wiped, I don't think she'll be doing any more large-scale searches in the L Zone, right? Our area doesn't have what they're looking for, after all. Just some strange guards and farms at most. Can I pass this piece of info to the doll community? I'll just say, the enemy achieved their objective. As long as we avoid the places they're wiping, we can go home safely once things blow over. Yeah, sure. Right now, we're still in the shadows while the enemy's intel contains a critical flaw. We can definitely deal her a fatal blow at the right moment. What's your plan? Don't worry, neither the community nor the doll community have to strike. It'll be another faction we can use. Every storm stems from the URNC's investigation of the Lviv incident. A bounty is placed on the commander because the URNC wanted to use him to find the truth behind that incident. I'm not sure what exactly happened in Lviv, but I have some ways to redirect the forces pursuing Commander towards a different target. To the conglomerate? Correct. The rush to have Mangi Security wipe out their abandoned Yellow Zone labs is fundamentally about ensuring the URNC can't find anything that contexts and implicates them. That's why they arranged for an additional team to divert the investigators' attention, on top of the regular assignments given to Mangi Security's normal squads. Lentine's instincts are right. These dirty jobs are always dumped onto Omen. There won't be any reward for completing the job, but if they botch it, they'll become a scapegoat that the conglomerate discards. So Lentine makes out like a freaking bandit this one by blaming the conglomerate overall, and she gains more power in the process. Helen escapes, Cocoon gets blamed. That is the plan. I don't give a crap about human power struggles, but so long as the doll community stays safe through all that, that's all that matters. As for you, you should probably cut ties with that Lentine as soon as possible for your own safety. Lentine would never accept the ending up as a discarded pawn with that personality of hers. Her reason for waking up me in the first place was to gain enough autonomy to build up leverage. With just a little nudge, that woman would willingly expose every clue that implicates the conglomerate to the URNC's gaze. That is her goal to begin with. She will become the perfect guide to divert the URNC's attention. Helen smiles, but something icy emits from beneath that warmth on her. Baltilde scratches her head, suppressing the tangle of feelings stirring within inside of her. Helen signals for Baltilde to leave the room for a moment. When she does, Helen immediately connects to an encrypted call with Lentine. Have you found the intel I asked for? Yes, there's good news and bad news. Which would you like to hear first? Cut the crap. Report mission status. Yes, ma'am. DP-12's tone returns a deference, though a faint, elusive hint of mockery lingers within it. The bad news is, I used the interfacing port with Tlazo used to infiltrate Mega's securities database, and reverse hacked my way into theirs. Turns out the Side and Omen squad got assigned to wipe out. It's flagged to the highest level of danger to Lazo's database. Only those with the highest level intel clearance can see what it is. Why don't you just tell me that it's Pandora's base at this point? Yes. Perhaps. It's just as you suspected. The URNC's investigation to Lviv is progressing at a steady pace. The Tlazo was in so much of a hurry to have you complete the assignment that they actually moved some key intel there. Chances are they want the URNC's investigation to stumble upon some cherry-picked intel. It's a thankless, dirty job, no matter how you look at it. So what's the good news? You'll only be discarded if you fail the mission. But you can't fail if you never begin. Correct? No? Paradius' intel. The conglomerate's secrets. We ourselves can write the plot and orchestrate what is about to unfold. Not a bad idea. Well then, how will you pull it off? Lentine pauses for a moment, seemingly considered her next move. They want to use me. I say let them. But the rules are always written by the side wielding more power. They should be prepared to used by me in return. Omen will remain eternal heroes, never pawns to be discarded. Alright then. I shall do as you wish. Oh, I didn't expect for a doll to secretly break into Mega's Security's database right on my heels. How interesting. Helly, her defense systems are quite comprehensive. But at the end of the day, she's just a doll capable of reading intel. Feeding her enough false intel, and she'll still be trapped in a cage of misinformation. Yet, compared to Helly, this mysterious doll that keeps interfering with my intel is far more intriguing. Could it be that what I hoped for is actually happening? The new board is set. All that's left is for the pieces to take the stage. Look at her in her awesome dress outfit. Boom. Chilling on a beach. It is gonna hit 80 degrees today. It is like the first almost summer, or late spring day here where I live. And I would love to be at a pool if there was one nearby. Okay. Through thick and thin. A hand-built harbor for yourself. This time, it won't be kept waiting. After ending her call with Latine, Helen relays her all currently known intel to the ELMO through Takeda's encrypted channel. Oh, hiccups. That was like painful. Alright, I gotta eat it. Got some water and use the bathroom quick. Apparently I got hiccups. Okay. There we go. Hiccups hopefully gone. Helen stands quietly on the screen, her background still consisting of Mangy Security's uniformly designed walls. Based on the intel gathered so far, the conglomerate has initiated a self-audit process after the Lviv laboratory explosion, ahead of the URNC. But they weren't fast enough. The URNC cared about the explosions at Lviv, far more than anyone could imagine. That's because the public doesn't know that Paradius' box is basically open. Paradius opened Pandora's box into Nirvana. How much do you know about the explosion of Lviv? Not much, though I'm not entirely in the dark. The explosion of Lviv didn't affect its ordinary civilians greatly, but it did shock the upper echelons of various factions. Both the URNC and the conglomerate seem to be handling this at a speed that implies direct intervention by their high authorities. This time, the conglomerate commissioned Mangy Security to locate and erase every lab connected to Chilvig. But the URNC's response was far faster than they anticipated. They've since abandoned the idea of wiping out every area. Instead, they plan to fabricate precisely aimed evidence to completely redirect the URNC's attention. So, Commander, about the Lviv incident and how it relates to you. We'll discuss that in detail once you're back on the ELMO. Yeah, it's been a long while since I've had a private conversation with you. Helen lets out a soft chuckle, then quickly resumes briefing us on the latest findings. Not long ago, I spent some time tracing and analyzing the missions that Maggie Security took on. They were operating the doll community's region due to the actions of the 3rd-gen doll Cocoon. She secretly tampered with the mission requirements, vastly expanding the search radius under the pretext of cleanup operations. I'll continue my investigation into her activities. Good work. Looks like Maggie Security wasn't the only reason why Justivaya was getting tracked. This Cocoon seems to harbor a strange obsession with my name. Or rather, my identity as DP-12. Cocoon made a move on Justivaya as soon as he returned to Maggie Security as DP-12. Be careful. She'll definitely come after you then. Worry not. I'll keep my guard up. Right now, the enemy's got themselves exposed, and we've not yet been compromised. I'll stay concealed and only reveal myself when the time is right. The Keta told me that Justivaya had her memory wiped once in Maggie Security because she came across some secrets of the conglomerate's top brass. Is that true? Yes. Justivaya happened to overhear a conversation between conglomerate leaders during her routine escort assignment. Helen's voice lowers as she recounts the fragmented, broken utterings salvaged from Justivaya's shattered memories. Seats, limit the numbers, meet the targets. Justivaya fought with everything she had to remember this. Seats. The contents of a past call with Kaling rushed to my mind in an instant. The matter of the change in leadership for Odessa. There was once a change in the faction that held power over it. A chairman with ties to the conglomerate would undoubtedly provide cover for all of their dirty dealings. Paradius' revival must have been backed by the conglomerate. Without a definitive way to sever the relationship between the two, Paradius will always have enough resources to keep coming back, expanding as much as mold would on endless plains of ripe agar media. Those conglomerate dogs, there's nothing they won't do for profit. When the benefits are high enough, they'll take any risk. But the moment the risk outweighs the reward, they'll discard any piece they deem expendable without hesitation. About the bounty on you, the URNC upper echelons don't appear to have reached the final verdict on the incident. If the opportunity presents itself, I will do my best to help you resolve this, to turn that situation around for you. Don't worry, I have plans to return the Green Zone in the near future. There's no need to put yourself at extra risk just to clear me of this baseless charge. I'll also take care to maintain proper cover in the Yellow Zone, keeping a low profile until things settle down. I'll do still my best for you, even if you say that, though. I'll still do my best. Helen's tone suddenly softens, her voice carrying an emotion that I have not yet understood. I'm doing this partially to fulfill my own selfish wishes, of course. Leveraging intel, fabricating intel. The conglomerate has many methods at their disposal to achieve their goals. Their plan this time seems to be about using Maggie Security to pin all their blame on Chilveg. But based on the intel that I've been able to gather, Chilveg herself, her fate is unknown. They'll never find Chilveg. She's already... A missing person is far more useful than a dead person, though. If the URNC's investigation results in the single conclusion that Chilveg is dead, that alone probably won't be enough for them to close the case. I'm worried that they're going to turn their muzzles to you in order to create a better scapegoat. A smile crosses Helen's face, but her tone was firm, allowing no debate. Maggie Security will, on the conglomerate's orders, construct a complete chain of evidence linking Paradius to Chilveg. Pin everything on the missing Chilveg, then divert the URNC's attention to directing the investigation towards Paradius. The URNC isn't that naive. Unless... The bait the conglomerate is offering this time feels enticing enough. That guess is right, Commander. The intel the conglomerate is putting forward involves a field I do not understand yet. It's not something related to the relics, right? No, it's a set of divine blueprints for equipment from Chilvig's lab. Blueprints for Chilvig's lab equipment? Helena! Send me the coordinates for the place Magus Security is heading to. They might have what I need. Magus Security has already departed. There's a high chance I'll run into them head-on even if you move at top speed. What exactly spurs you to take such risks? There's this kid on the ELMO right now. She urgently needs the nutrient solution used in the cultivation of Paradius test subjects. Since Magus Security plans to use Chilvig to draw the UNC's attention, there's a high chance the area chosen to sacrifice will contain the contraband they're using to fabricate evidence. Said contraband is the nutrient solution I need. The kid can't wait much longer. Understood. Please proceed with caution, though. According to the intel I dug up, there may still be remnants of Paradius forces in that area. Maybe you could record some combat footage to submit as evidence in the future? I've never placed any hope in the UNC's senior officials. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Then what if you do this, but not for the purpose of submitting evidence to the UNC's higher-ups? She pauses. The figure on the screen hesitates for a moment, as though she's weighing her next words carefully. Her voice is so quiet that she almost seems to be talking to herself, yet it comes through the connection with perfect clarity, carrying a cautious plea tinged with hesitation. Do it for my sake instead. Would you agree to this request? Of course. Evidence like that won't be of much use, though. I've been longing to return to your side ever since we were united through that call back then. It's literally killing me. Just Avaya once asked me, what should we say if we were to reunite with you? You're finally back. I missed you. Or something. Please don't leave us again. I've thought of so many ways to begin our reunion, yet I never imagined it would go this way. Reuniting through a comms device under this identity? I will sit and wait no more. I want to build, and am already building, a place where we belong with my own two hands. A home that belongs solely to us. So please, trust my judgment. Helen lifts her head once more on my screen. Her resolve, stronger than it ever was, shines brightly through her steely eyes. That resolve pierced straight through my heart, to be seen, to be needed. Her words make me think of the place of belonging she always kept emphasizing. Yet, be it Helena or Milani, or any of the dolls who choose to follow me, will I, as things stand today, be able to give any of them that place of belonging worthy of being called home? I trust you. Saying something like that without hesitating at all, you've become surprisingly straightforward. Well then, I won't let you down. Creating his own doll community, headquarters, home, / his own faction, essentially, when he gets enough of them. The call ends. The lighting in the office room grows dim, allowing my pensive face to be reflected in the glass. The ELMO crew is currently gathering supplies at the bridge. Since we're trying to finish our pre-departure preparations quickly, the emptiness here makes the lighting in the office rooms feel rather cold. As we're standing still for a moment, I turn around and walk out. I find Groza checking her combat gear in the refitting room and share all the intel I've obtained. Set off immediately, let the squad to the Paradius base, lead the squad, locate Helena's nutrient solution ASAP, then withdraw all at once. Understood. All preparations have been complete. We're ready to move out, Commander. Leave the searches to me. I'll definitely spot the nutrient solution that Helena needs, even if the enemies are around. Commander. The girl suddenly appears in the refitting room, draws close, tugging at my sleeve. Commander, do you really have to go to those scary places? Back then, Melanie stayed in a place that always felt dark. But now that I'm here with you, things feel different. Melanie's eyes sparkle like stars, her voice resolute. I mean, they were literally kept in solutions and then sacrificed. So yeah, a dark hellhole. You're like a really, really sharp light that cuts through darkness. Your light is like a shining edge. That's why you'll definitely save Helena. And everyone like me, will surely find a light within the darkness too. Which is why I want to help you too. I kneel down and gently pat Melanie on the head. Then please look after Helena for me until we come back. Commander, you'll be back real soon, right? We'll be back as soon as we can. We still need your help with regard to the treatment once we find the nutrient solution. Melanie. Oh, are you heading out yourself, Commander? This involves Helena and Chilveg. We have to be cautious for this operation. Got it. I'll bring all the medical supplies and go at maximum alert. The ELMO doesn't need more casualties. Coming back safely is what matters most. Okay, I'll stay on the ELMO like a good girl, waiting for everyone to come back. Strange reunion. The form you once changed is now utterly familiar now that you've encountered it again. The team led by Lentine moves swiftly through the yellow zone. Finally, it comes to a halt at the mission coordinates designated by the conglomerate. Before them stands a battered base. Shattered walls and exposed rebar suggest it once weathered a wave of devastation. The building's broken silhouettes trace eerie, jagged shapes against the sky, proclaiming its danger across the land. Lentine is the first to jump down from the command vehicle. She stamps the uneven ground firmly under her foot, her expression grim as she surveys the entrance. Stay on high alert. There's a high chance hostiles are still present in the area. Lentine's voice spreads through the tactical comms channel and every member of the Almond Squad. Her voice is icy yet steady, somewhat dispelling the fatigue from their hurried march. Start with the perimeter. Avoid being detected. Confirm the enemy's numbers as quickly as possible. Yes, ma'am. All units, equip mission recorders. Document the mission in full. We're not taking the blame here. The order makes Kenny hesitate for just a split second. He gives Lentine an instinctive glance. Understood. He realizes something isn't quite right. What? Got a problem with that? There's no emotion to be read from Lentine's voice, but Kenny knows that his tiny reaction hasn't escaped her notice. It's just that we're all on the same side here. Do we really need the records running? We never used them in the past anyway. If the mission intel leaks, it'll be hard to explain to Conglomerate. We're pinning everything on there, you don't even understand. The past is the past, this is the present. What's their plan? Break off from Conglomerate and become the higher echelons of Manga security? Take over huge amounts of forces? That should be the plan, right? The combat footage recorded today, I'll destroy it all afterward in one fell swoop. The recording is simply an extra layer of insurance for us. Having an extra bargaining chip is always better than being caught off guard by a partner's betrayal down the line. Will the Conglomerate really betray us? They already have. Sensing the implication behind Lentine's words, Kenny's spirit sink to rock bottom. To the people at the top, every last one of us is expendable. Know your place. And maybe you'll survive. Besides, even if the intel does leak, it wouldn't be because we let it... Understood. I've always believed the mission we execute can do carry meaning. They're protecting this world too, just in our own way. Destroying what's left of Paredes' experiments, that, at the very least, will keep ordinary Vivi safe. Kenny, you've been waiting for me for so long. Haven't you figured it out? Lentine cuts him off, her tone ice cold. The first step into despair is the gap between expectation and reality. So put away your dreams of saving the world. The world needs a share of fools, but I will never want fools who think they can save the world as my teammates. That's so. And here I thought, a hero whose dream is to save the world might catch your attention. Everyone is interested in interesting things, but that's all there is to it. Her hope is gone long ago. Make sure everyone participating in this mission keeps their mouths shut. Carry out this operation to the highest tactical standard. Be ready for enemy contact at any moment. Eliminate every living creature in this area. Leave no survivors. Suspected human signs of human survival detected. Open fire. Understood. Open. Shoot him. It's Elids. Hurry. Yeah, they're not humans. They're Paredes experiments. The sounds of terrified screams and full auto gunfire spring out in rapid succession through the comms. Lentine closes her eyes, frustration etched across her brow. She raps her knuckles hard against the tactical tablet, producing dull thuds. People always tend to hesitate at a fatal moment, driven by strange human sympathy and the force of habit. And that's exactly what just happened. Even though she'd already given the ruthless order to eliminate every living creature they encounter. Even a single second of hesitation could decide your fate in a place as dangerous as this. Report status. We encountered unidentifiable humanoid creatures in cloaks. They attacked us. It's not just Elids. There are doll machines here too. We lost 2 of our squad members. 3 more wounded. Requesting reinforcements. The voices coming through the comms are breaking up every now and then, speech interspersed with heavy panting roar of gunfire. Lentine waves her hand, signaling Kenny to push the other squads towards the ambush point to provide support. Fire! Hold the line! Hold on, we're already on our way. Unlike the previous sweeps of long-abandoned Paredes bases, the coordinates the Glimmer has provided this time clearly contain a significant number of hostiles. The squads swiftly suppress the remaining enemies, but not before paying the price. Lentine personally leads the team straight to the Paredes experiment area. Lentine orders her squad members to wipe out the products of all experiments in the vicinity. She established a defensive perimeter around her position, holding back the enemies that keep emerging from every corner. There's an unusually high number of test subjects in this series, and most of them are humans who've been... Kenny's voice is hoarse. He cannot bring himself to blurt out everything on his mind. Yeah, if you believe in heroes and you go to this hell human experimentation base, you'd have some severe mental issues for a while. You won't live long if you don't break your overthinking habit. Things are definitely worse than I expected. Yeah, his spirit is breaking. I thought this mission was just about planning some research info here, then grabbing some Chilvig-related permissions info as evidence to hand over the URC later. But now that I'm here looking at all this, this is definitely one of the testing grounds connected to that Whitestone research base. Something made those high and mighty conglomerate top dogs give a place like this? That's already a decent outcome of all things considered. Humanity will never stop chasing power, Kenny. The number of madmen in this world far exceeds what you can imagine. You need to lower your expectations, friend. Still try and be a hero. But lower your expectations of the rest of humanity. Dark. War never changes. Metal Gear Solid 4. Only by maintaining a balance of power between factions can we temporarily restrain conflict. And this time, we're the being placed on the scale to maintain that delicate balance. Fabricating info, erasing evidence that conglomerates connection to this place. It's all meaningless at this point. Even if we do all that, there are countless other experiments like this going on in other labs. At best, we're just helping to ensure that the experience continues somewhere else. Shutting one's mouth allows one to feign ignorance, When there's no evidence, there can be no trial. Trust me, the people at the top don't have the foresight you think they do. Hurry up with your work. Don't dawdle. After instructing her subordinates to maintain the defensive line, handing over her deception work, Lentine connects the interrupted call with DP-12. I'm suppressing hostiles here at the moment. I'll open the Radius Intel database interface shortly. Once you connect to the interface, verify whether a selection of intel is correct, and change all control permissions for the site to Chilveg. Processing your order right now. Please wait a moment. By the way, you received the video I sent you, right? Encrypt it, then make a few backups of it. Set it so I have failed check for 3 days. The intel automatically gets sent to the URNC. Preparing for every contingency. Even when there's a little danger? Nah, that's what I expect from you. I wouldn't need to resort to this kind of strategy if Carmen didn't push so much emphasis on this. A massive explosion suddenly roars through Paradius base mid-conversation. The whole structure shudders violently. The sounds of collapse echo without end. Debris falling from the ceiling rains down like a storm, crashing to the floor with deafening impact. Our guests seem to be acting faster than I expected. We'll need some more time if we want to fully complete this mission. Even in the best case scenario, we'll still need... The sounds of explosions arrive one after another, steadily encroaching on Lentine's position. Another blast rings out, closer and more violent than the last. The piercing screech of metal comes from directly above Lentine. A section of the ceiling breaks free and plummets towards her. Adjutant Lentine, watch out! Kenny lunges from her side with a desperate shout, throwing all his weight into locking Lentine away. The two humans tumble to the ground. The columns of ice flies from Lentine's hands, skidding and tumbling across the floor, abruptly severing his connection to DP-12. A thick cloud of dust smoke engulfs them in an instant. Lentine struggles to push herself up, but the dust still has her coughing violently. Kenny, who is lying face down, is already back up. Positions himself back to Lentine, down on one knee with his weapon raised as he visually sweeps the surroundings. Adjutant, are you alright? Lentine doesn't answer. Her gaze is aimed past Kenny's shoulder, fixed on the area that just collapsed. Lentine realized she might have walked straight into a trap. She thought she was prepared, and yet she didn't expect the enemy to react fast on her. Judging by the direction of the explosions, there's more than one enemy. This place has become a death trap about to snap shut. All of our so-called bargaining chips are worthless in the face of death. All units prepare to withdraw immediately. But our mission isn't complete yet. One squad has already gone ahead to investigate the source of tremors. Idiots. What they're doing is no different from a suicide run. Tell them to hurry back. No need to investigate. Prioritize immediate withdrawal. But won't we be in trouble with the conglomerate for this? Worry about it after you get it back alive. Tell me, why did some squads get completely wiped out during some Mangus Curious previous missions? What do you think happened? Their assessment of mission intel was inadequate. If I were in the upper echelons, the best possible outcome is insuspect operations would be for every operative involved to die during the mission. You mean? The color drains from Kenny's face as the worst case scenario dawns on him. Don't forget, Mega Security is just one of many PMCs serving conglomerate. Besides us, whom they assign the dirty work to, they also have a far more obedient, useful third-gen doll at their disposal. You can't tell from the sound alone. The people setting off the explosions aren't many, but they're closing in on us. There are others here. Get out before this entire area collapses. Go! Another explosion. Light and fire shoots into the sky. The roaring of concentrated gunfire mingles with the howls of the elids. And an armored vehicle zips across the open wilds, hurtling towards the base at breakneck speed. That place is about to collapse. Do we really have to change into it? I don't wanna. Helen's interception in there. We're getting it no matter what. Commander, the thermal signatures and the scale of explosions are both increasing. The building structure is currently disintegrating. Entering it now exposes extreme risk. I stare at the ruined build ahead of me, shrouded in fire and smoke. The nutrient solution Helena needs is right in front of us. Full speed ahead. Charge in. Are we really going in? Grab the handrails. Don't get thrown off. Right, I know. The armored vehicle lets out a roar as its engines push back to max output. It shoots forward like an arrow, loose from a bow, recklessly plunging straight into the heart of the chaos. Dust, smoke, and debris pelt the windshield, hammering against the bulletproof glass in a loud, relentless barrage. Amid the deafening roars, the armored vehicle crashes the already crumbling outer wall in a nigh suicidal charge, finally coming to an emergency stop inside the devastated experiment area. I kick the door open. A pungent wave of gunpowder, dust, and some kind of chemical agent rushes in. The doll community offered to help us with this mission. So why am I the only one who got dragged out here to work? I never want to ride the Clue Guy again. Shut up and do your job. Clue Guy, are you sure you didn't insist on coming just because Commander's in this vehicle too? You're here because I approve your combat ability. Don't embarrass yourself. Fine, fine. I won't slow you guys down just because I'm a medical doll. Leave the Commander's safety to me. Judging by the explosion, this area won't hold much longer. Are we too late? I surveyed the wrecked lab in the commotion from moments ago. It seems that Mega Security is already pulled out in a hurry. Our objective takes priority. Eliminate everything that comes our way. Then let's tackle the most important thing first. The nutrient solution for Helena's treatment should be near the lab equipment. There's no doubt about it. The enemy's retreat route crosses the area we're planning to head to. They seem to have retreated because of the explosions. We're the only dumb ones enough to push forward in a place like this. Pick up the pace. They're destroying the lab equipment. I know, I know. We can only get away with it because dolls are extremely quick. Much quicker than normal human soldiers. Run in, run out. Amid the thundering explosions, Mega Security's forces do not attempt to engage us again. Instead, they conduct a fighting retreat, withdrawing rapidly. I gaze at the distant squad. The female commander at its head stands out strikingly among the uniformed ranks. Her gaze crosses mine for a moment. She seems to consider letting her gaze linger on the beast several times, but under cover from her subordinates, she ultimately chooses to withdraw. Lentine. I've heard this name from Helen many times. The gaze that repeatedly lingers on me carries what feels like a mix of curiosity, appraisal, and the sense of someone sizing up their prey. Commander, this area won't hold much longer. Grab as much nutrient solution as you can carry. Hey, wait, isn't that where I was sitting? We've run out of storage space. For Helena's sake, you'll have to ask the Meki to bear with it for a bit. Lay on top of the vehicle. If the nutrient solution got into the back seat, don't tell me that I have to run it all the way back. That's absolutely not an option. I can't sit on the Commander's or Clue Guy's lap. Clue Guy, no way. We can definitely make it back together if we squeeze a bit, right? Right? Wait, why did everyone go quiet? Anyway, I'm absolutely not running back. Work faster. You want to be buried under this rubble or something? Today's work has definitely exceeded all my limits. Amid the chaos, I quickly locate the central control terminal inside the base. Fortunately, it wasn't completely destroyed during the combat. The terminal comes to life after a few key presses. Copy the intel and bring it back. Maybe we'll find a way to save Helena. Understood. Read access has been blocked. I'm afraid it has to be decrypted, and there's absolutely no time for that now. After Mega Security's withdrawal, some of the elites that have been drawn to them can move back to us. Clue Guy and Meki fight them off the best they can, while Kopsni busies herself with hauling nutrient solutions containers where selected. At least, the ones that seem potentially useful. The enemy must have processed and edited the data before we arrived. To fully decrypt it, we would need a doll with exceptional intel processing abilities. Alva, where are you at? Helen comes to mind. Reaching her requires routing through multiple relay points. I don't think I can get her help right away. Just as I think of a solution, Helen's voice comes through the comms channel, right when I needed her. Commander, you're already inside the Paradius base? How'd you do that? Yeah, the Mengi security team you mentioned didn't fight us very much, though. I'm currently trying to process the intel stored here. I tampered with that data through a special interface a few minutes ago. If you need it, Commander, I'll present it to you as a gift when we finally meet again. You should just leave quickly. The final wipe of this area has begun. Did Mengi security retreat because of your intel? I merely reminded them the enemy was approaching far faster than expected. After all, Mengi security isn't the only thing backing Cocoon. Mengi security isn't the conglomerate's only tool for destroying evidence. They have a far more discreet and reliable tool, 3rd Gen dolls. I've already processed intel in this area. The URNC investigation will only find one conclusion here. Paradius intel permissions for this area belong to Chilveg. As far as the other conglomerate-linked labs, the relevant intel there has also been wiped through the other squad's missions. These pieces of intel may seem insignificant now, but this can help muddy the investigation. It's the best way to stall the URNC. The base is collapsing fast. Larger chunks of debris have begun crashing down. Commander, should we still? Everyone, withdraw immediately. We already had the data. The reading these chapters, a lot of them is a lot shorter than the first 5 are so long each. These ones have been significantly more manageable. Still takes a while, but like half the length. I guess they didn't want to make it so it said, what, 12 and 4 would have been like 16 and 7 or something otherwise. HA10. Reflection interplay. Similar yet different entities, now entwined with each other. Beep beep. Computer sounds. In an unassuming corner within Mengi security, a doll deftly swipes open a door lock, carefully stepping into a dust-covered archive room. How's everything going? Smooth so far. The forge missions you made are working well. But is Dushtevaya's backup really here? Baltil cautiously looks around her surroundings. Rows of storage shelves extend deep into the dimly lit room. Each shelf is marked with a large letter on its side. The shelves are covered in dust, with countless file bags piled in them haphazardly. Looks like no one's been here for a long time. All the more reason to search it. The more inconspicuous a place is, the more easily it gets overlooked. This is an archive room dedicated to storage, testimony, and will-related documents from Mengi security employees. Hardly anyone comes in here. As an archive considered bad luck by everyone in Mengi security, nearly everyone has forgotten about its existence. So, the best place for hiding intel. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go in there either. Unless you're trying to search your dead friend's last will. During my last call with Lentine, she specifically set up an intel insurance policy for herself in case something goes wrong. I see. Following that woman's habits of always planning for the worst case, it makes sense that Dishnavia's backup might also be stored here. Exactly. And for someone who doesn't trust dolls, this is indeed the ideal storage location. Faced with a massive volume of physical files, a doll's data retrieval functions are rendered completely useless. Alright, I'll find the clear points of Dishnavia's backup as quickly as I carefully can. Quickly as carefully as I can. Thing is, something about our current situation feels off. Don't worry. Right now, you're officially registered as a doll under Mengi security. At least, your ID says so. I'll leave Dishnaviya to you. Catching something unusual in Helen's voice, Baltil pauses her surf and frowns at the comm screen. Hey, once we find Dishnaviya's backup, let's leave together. Don't talk like you're unable to leave. We went through all this trouble to find you. If we go back empty-handed, all look super useless. Leave. Helen's movements pause for a moment. The constant flow of intel data shines in her eyes, flickering in uncertainty. You want to leave more than anyone. I can tell. The easiest way to leave Ming security is to have yourself classified as combat damaged, decommissioned dolls. If we have Nikita and help, getting the two of you out won't be a problem. What about you? Trapped because you're in too deep? Lentine will never let me go that easily. I know too many of her secrets. Unless what? Unless the crisis Lentine faces next is severe enough. Severe enough that she has to sacrifice me as a pawn to protect herself. Still, the leverage she can extract from me needs to be substantial enough to make her feel that the deal works in her favor. A crisis of that magnitude? I can't create it on my own. Then let us help you. I hate owing people's favors, whether it's Commander or you. Besides, I already prepared for the worst before I left the doll community. My neurocloud's already backed up over there. Ulrid chose to talk to me in private back then, telling me the doll community never abandons a companion. You may not belong to the community, but I already consider you one of us. So, feel free to trust us more. No matter what, don't forget the doll community. We're a force you can call on too. We will definitely help you in Dishtavaya. How wonderful. That child has found the place of belonging that she always was wishing for and hoped for. A gentle, relief smile appears on Helen's face, but her gaze soon sharpens again. She begins reevaluating the whole situation. You're right. I should leverage every faction available, not just planning for the worst. If I'm the only thinking about dealing with Lentine, the resources and powers I mobilize are still too few. But if I added a few more pieces to the board, the game could play out in some other ways. For example, I could drag that lofty third-gen doll into my game as well. No problem. I'll cooperate with your plan with everything I've got. Faced with belt-hilt resolve, Helen smiles. Well then, let us begin by... After the URNC investigators station themselves in Mega Security... Whoa, music changed radically. They request access to portions of the database. Mega Security hands them some permissions for surface-level data, but all core data related to Lviv, Chilvig's lab, and Plazo Incorporated has already been hidden or altered by upper management. It's like a crime scene, scrubbed spotless, seemingly airtight. But to Helen, every movement of data leaves ripples in the Intel archives. She stealthily navigates through the depths of this data, sensing the unnatural textured traces that they've been forcibly smoothed out. The explosion of Lviv cannot be something random. Judging by the timeline, the instantaneous surge and collapse radiation must have been linked to Chilvig's lab. Oleg Gerard, the head of the project team, had already been arrested. Chilvig, the person in charge of the explosion site, is under further investigation. Plazo Incorporated, which funded Chilvig, will most likely come out clean after their self-audits. As for Chef Fabin, which is connected to Plazo Incorporated, they've hidden themselves perfectly behind this whole incident. Without anything to implicate them, they become untouchable. The doll called Cocoon has constructed a flawless solution. What's her goal, though? What is her goal? To provide higher-ups with reasonable, beneficial conclusion to the investigation? No, it goes beyond that. She's feeding everyone who reads the intel a complete fabricated reality to muddle them. A strange feeling envelops Helen. She feels as though she's trapped inside a false world manipulated by an invisible hand. Every piece of reality she can touch may well be a product of tampering. Fabricating possibilities. This is what Helen does best. Taking existing intel, reorganizing it, adjusting the sequence of events, guiding those intel who read it post-edit into drawing exactly the conclusion she wants. In the past, she is almost always her pulling the strings, but this time, she can clearly sense that someone else is doing the exact same thing. That someone is that third-gen doll. The one with intel processing abilities eerily similar to her own, who has taken an extraordinary interest in her, Cocoon. All of this just to mislead Helly? Found your tail again. I've got you this time. The instant Helen detects the other presence, a signal connects to Helen's level 2. Barging in while someone's working. How rude. You must be the one from before, right? Got you. Nice to... No. What I should say is, we meet at long last. She... a cane and a dope-ass revolver. And her classy dress. What a very cool character design. In that case, let's get started by clearing this aside. Most perceptive. I'm quite curious as to your true power. Has a sexy walk. Unknown Cocoon. In level 2. Cocoon maintains her effortless smile, even when faced with an unrelenting stream of data attacks. To think you can employ attack methods similar to mine. Your identity proves quite the surprise to me. To think you can employ attacks similar to mine. Your identity proves quite the surprise to me. Being singled out by a third-gen doll like you, ma'am, is hardly a good thing. Helen forces herself to stay calm, wielding every last bit of processing power to defend herself from the electronic warfare battle. If I'm not mistaken, you must be the one who repeatedly infiltrated Mangus Kier's database and tampered with the intel. I've already compiled and reported evidence of your unauthorized modification of the intel, ma'am. I'm afraid it won't be long before you need to explain yourself to UNC's investigations in person. Cocoon lets out a soft chuckle, brimming with confidence. At first, I expected to find DP-12 who piqued my interest here. What a pity. I just spent so much effort even resorting to directly tampering with all the man has just to meet her. I discovered that DP-12 had been so eager to find, had already turned into a defective doll with an empty head. Honestly, I was disappointed. The answer I've been seeking all this time led to such a dull ending. That was, well, until I encountered you. Cocoon's tone turns aggressive, as if she intends to peel open and look through every layer within Helen's neural cloud. KSVK? No. Based on my current deductions, that is not your true designation. I have made a tiny but perfectly reasonable guess again. Like, I have the idea that you're the real DP-12. Her level 2 is slammed by a sudden assault. Helen feels everything around her begin to peel away and shatter. Third-gen dolls. Facing an opponent with performance and access permissions far exceeding her own, Helen's level 2 defenses begin to collapsing layer by layer under the onslaught. The only one who could fight back was Alva. Helen can barely hold her ground, even with every ounce of processing power committed. To be honest, the fact you can meet me here at all is a testament to your remarkable intel processing abilities. Still, this is as far as your struggle goes. The attacking data crashes over Helen's desperately maintained defenses in an instant, engulfing her like an overwhelming tide. In the final moment before neural cloud's breached, Helen uses Lentine's copy permissions to trigger the highest level alert possible in Mangus security. If I do this, maybe. Following Helena's actions, an instruction is sent through a vulnerability in Mangus security defenses to every decommissioned doll warehouse. Countless decommissioned doll frames stored in the warehouse activate all at once. Like a torrent of steel driven berserk, they smash open the warehouse doors and pour out like a swarm of hornets. attacking every target in sight. Alarms bear through Mangy's security in an instant. Cocoon, who was in control of the situation, could not help but feel a flash of irritation at having her plans disrupted. How irritating. Great, found it. Clutching the disguised neural cloud backup, Baltail lifts her head from the mountain of messy files. Only now does she hear the abnormal alarms and sounds of chaos coming from outside the archive room. She immediately tries to contact Helen, but the call doesn't go through. All that remains in the comms channel is a single message from Helen. Evacuation plan must be moved forward. Improvise. Damn it, what's going on over there? Baltail quickly decides to call Nikita since the archive room has not drawn any attention yet. Sorry to call, Nikita. I need some help here. Do you know what's going on with Helen? I can't reach her at all. And what's with the deal with those dolls bumbling about the corridors? The mechs and Mega Security are running wild. But don't worry, this is actually a perfect opportunity for you. Keep yourself safe and prioritize completing your current mission, which is to find Destroy's backup. I'll draw the pursuers from your area away. I'm fine, I've already got her backup. Now I just need to get back and reboot her frame. Really? That's great. If you can successfully reboot and defy it, you'll be able to immediately evacuate. Takeda's voice is interspersed with tense gunfire and the sound of running footsteps, slightly distorted by electrical interference. It's total chaos here. Even I received the order to attack and destroy the database. Could it be? Most likely command issued by Helen, or by Cocoon. I can't reach Helen right now. I'm worried that the current situation might be the result of a last resort she was forced to use while engaging the enemy. The squad the commander dispatched to extract us should already be on their way. Maybe they can help Helen. In any case, that's not something you should be worrying about right now. Your only mission right now is to take Deshvaya and leave during the chaos. I know. I'm heading back right now. Move as fast as you can. The time I can buy is limited. Multiple squads from the fields have already received emergency orders to return and support. Our window to act is really small this time. Chiaroscuro. Is that a word? Or something I made up? Chiaroscuro. Definition. The treatment of light and shade in drawing and painting.
Chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro.
Chiaroscuro. And a chiaroscuro. Have I heard that word before? That's not ringing any bells. An effect of contrasted light and shadow created by light falling unevenly or from a particular direction of something. I mean, the commander is their light. And then escaping is their light. A looping illusion of delusion, inescapably linked to a deeper influence. Dun, 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 dun. Back when she worked at the nursing home, Dushevnia always loved listening to the elderly residents telling stories of their youth. One particular word seemed to come up again and again. Home. Without her even realizing it, this word took root in the deepest part of Dushevnia's heart, turning into a fervent desire. She yearned for a place of belonging, where she would never be abandoned. For a long time after meeting the Commander Griffin, she believed that she had found the home that belonged to her. And so the home Destinaya longed for also became the future that Helen desired most. She opens her eyes once more and finds herself in that familiar scene again. Helen looks at the bags of fresh vegetables in her hands, then at the familiar door before her. She lets out a soft chuckle. You're visiting the base layer of my neurocloud. What an interesting guest. This is my home, the place I know best. You'll never win here. I'm home. Helen announces it like a declaration of sovereignty to an unseen enemy, saying the same phrase she always does. Setting aside her sliver of wariness towards Cocoon, Helen smiles and pushes open the door she's opened countless times in the space of her own neurocloud. Welcome back. The commander looks up and gives her a gentle smile, just as always. We'll have borscht for dinner tonight. I'll have it ready for you shortly. Be sure to rest well, Commander. Deftly tying on her apron, she neatly lays out the ingredients and starts to process them. Helen immerses herself in her cooking while still keeping an eye on any changes in the space around her. Where will the enemy appear? From the food in my hands, or from the corner of this space? Even the countless neurocloud wipes in my past have not been able to touch my base layer. This place is the most important one to me. Helen continues to cook as countless theories pass through her neurocloud, wearing the same relaxed, gentle smile she always does. Commander, what do you think of Justifia's recent performance? She's been working really hard for her training. She says she wants to earn first place or something. Commander? Receiving no reply, Helen turns to look. The next instant, she sees the lifeless figure lying on the sofa. The smile on Helen's face freezes an instant. Right then, she hears the voice of another person's footsteps inside the room. An intruder? Helen hurries after the footsteps, only to find Deshevnia's collapsed on the floor. The curtain stirs. A blurry figure flashes past the balcony. The enemy is still around. Helen rushes to the balcony, desperate to chase down the murderer. But what greets her is the enemy's sudden counterattack. An immense force of impact engulfs Helen in an instant. Her body is paralyzed for a moment. The face of the murderer that should have appeared before her is covered by a veil of darkness. Every action she takes seems to be stopped by the crushing darkness. All Helen feels is herself falling, collapsing uncontrollably within her neural space. The enemy is already capable of tempering my base layer? Her consciousness returns. Helen gasps her breath, finding herself still standing in the room. The scene before her is the same as before. Ding dong. The familiar doorbell rings once more. I'm home. Helen's neurocloud feels as though it's frozen solid. That's my voice. Is that me from just now? Helen tries to walk to the door, only to find she has no control over her frame. She's now a spectator, as if she's a guest in someone else's base layer. She watches herself leave this area and enters the room. She watches Deshevnia look up and run towards her, only to be dismantled by her own hand. She watches herself walk expressionlessly towards the commander. Corrupted code makes the entire space shift in an instant. The faces belonging to the Commander Deshevnia become blurred beyond recognition. No, this isn't right. I would never harm Deshevnia or Commander, even if hacked by the enemy. Unless this isn't my base layer at all. Someone made this using data similar to mine, modifying it based on my own cognition. Deception like this, though? Truly appalling. Disgusting. Helen frowns at the events unfolding before her. Even though she knows this place is fabrication, watching herself commit acts that betray her own will still makes her stomach churn. Ding dong. The doorbell rings once again. The same familiar setting returns. Helen stands in the room, gazing at the space that she has created. This is the home she always longed for, the core region of her neurocloud base layer. Countless enemies have attempted an invasion in the past, but she had the power to crush them every time. But now, the enemy has dragged her into this space, making her believe at the start that it was her own base layer? Be it Dushevna's or her treasure commander, the enemy merely constructed a framework of them, then modified them using Helen's data and memories as a template. If you're so fond of imitating me, try this on for size. Helen texts. Everything familiar before her dissolves into nothing in an instant. The warm lightning, the comfortable sofa, the commander's smile, Dushevna's silhouette. Everything disintegrates and scatters amid violent shaking, ultimately merging into a single new, pure white silhouette. Recklessly copying someone's base layer and turning it into a battlefield. Isn't that quite impolite? Or is that a special hobby of yours, this third-gen doll? It's the complete opposite. DP12, I'd love to rip this superfluous trash data out of my neural space and grind it to dust. Is that why you're looking for me? Because of the Project Coronal Hall? I have no memory of participating in that project. Still, given the current situation, it seems that some of my data got extracted and planted into the database within you. I didn't expect the legendary third-gen dolls to have such a boring origin story. Faced with the doll of provocation, Cocoon maintained a composed smile. The creator was claiming that we are different from the rest. We are distinct from the second-gen dolls, both physically and mentally. Outside is standing data from second-gen dolls from the database used for building our neuroclouds. In most cases, that data is completely wiped out once our personalities are born. Except yours, DP12. You left something within me that proves difficult to discard. After meeting you, I was able to confirm that this lingering obsession of yours that refuses to fade is something that involves this commander. Fascinating. That piece of intel I tried so desperately to remember, even going so far as to leave myself hints in every possible way, had left such a profound mark on another lady. Those residual shadows lingering in my base data layer should have scattered long ago. And of course, the same goes for you. Still got her sexy walk. Calmly but precisely manipulating a powerful data stream, Cocoon closes in on Helen within the neural space. However, as the distance shrinks, Cocoon finds their movements are growing sluggish. Outside the base layer, a massive flood of redundant data appears to attempt joining her processing queue. It relentlessly tears at the computational space she had perfectly planned, trying to occupy it. Triggering the highest possible alert preemptively, then using the deluge of incoming alarm notification to force me to split my attention. What a brilliant counterattack. Looks like you remembered. You are still inside Mangy's security, and you've manipulated the system, such that all new data entering the Intel archives has to pass through you. You can process everything on time if there's only a few pieces of incoming intel. But now, you might have too much on your plate. Oh, and a few defense mechs have accidentally had their attack targets temporarily switched to you. I did it, of course. I'm afraid they're making a beeline to you right now. More scrap metal. Dealing with them poses no difficulty to me. I fully understand what you're capable of. With your clearance level, you could just shut down the solar yourself and correct the mech's targeting. But that would mean leaving records of your actions. Making security may serve the conglomerate, but tampering with intel permissions, while abusing conglomerate permissions to issue missions for your own benefits, things won't end well if that were to be discovered. I imagine your master will be quite terrified if such actions came to light. From what I've observed, the commonest preferred method for dealing with dolls who know too much has always been a neurocloud wipe. Do third-gen dolls receive the same treatment? Alarms continue to blare. Meanwhile, Helen's attacks grow more ferocious in level 2. For the first time since the competition began, the thought of retreat crosses Cocoon's mind. Cocoon regards the enemy before her coldly. Weighing her options, she ultimately chooses to withdraw. If Blue Sphere were here to provide cover right now, she could just slip into Mega Security's intel archives, alter the data, and check what's going on. But as Helen pointed out, no matter how much she modifies the data at this point, traces of tampering will inevitably remain. Eliminating DP-12 in her current circumstance would endanger her actual mission. There's something more important to attend to. Shelving her clash with Helena for the time being. Helen. Cocoon rapidly pulls data from the intel archives and begins mass-scale deleting her deletions and alterations. Dushanya. In Helen's room, Baltilde carefully props the doll up in a sitting position, calling her name softly. She loaded Dushevnya's neural records 2 minutes ago, then completed a preliminary check. She's already checked this neural cloud. She's certain the backup is intact. But whether Dushevnya can really recover and what state she'll recover to remains unknown and uncertain, and that still makes her very nervous. Thankfully, the doll finally opens her eyes for what feels like an eternity. Dushevnya, you're finally here. You're finally awake. Baltilde excitedly grabs the doll's arm, but the doll just stares at her in bewilderment. Where is this? You're at Maggie Security. This is the room shared by you and Helen. This is great. You're finally... It's gonna be something like, who are you? Helen? Where's Helen? Where did she go? The doll looks around in confusion. Baltilde gently takes her hand, trying to pull her to her feet. Helen can't come right now, but I'm here to pick you up, so let's get out of here together. Leave? But who are you? I don't know you. I'm Baltilde, your companion from the doll community. We came to Mega Security to find DP-12. Do you remember? Looking into the doll's still bewildered eyes, Baltilde presses a frustrated hand to her forehead. This backup contents are from Futar back. Look, I'll explain the rest later. Please. Please just come with me for now. Apologies, but I'm afraid you won't be going anywhere. Baltilde snaps her head towards the source of the voice. Standing in the doorway is a pink-haired doll studying the room's occupants with evident amusement. Meeting a pair of eyes that share a gaze eerily similar to Helen's, Baltilde freezes for a moment. Cocoon smiles and steps closer. Stay back. Baltilde springs to her feet and spreads her arms wide, placing herself between Dushevnya and the Cocoon. But Cocoon pays Baltilde no mind. Her gaze pierces straight through her and lands on the bewildered doll sheltered behind her. The instant she sees Dushevnya, the ice-cold smile on Cocoon shifts unexpectedly, giving way to one that almost feels gentle, yet obviously deeply unsettling. We meet at last. KSVK. Your companion, DP-12. A sense of familiarity draws Dushevnya towards Cocoon in an instant. On instinct, is that what I said? Yep. Bullets strike the floor near Cocoon's feet without warning, halting her approach. Nikita pushes the door and enters, raising her gun to Cocoon coldly. Third Gen Doll Cocoon, cease all acts of resistance immediately and surrender. Cocoon glances back at Nikita with a dismissive, light scoff. She then turns back, steps forward, walking smoothly towards Dushevnya, completely ignoring the gun Nikita has trained on her from behind. So you still remember my name? Even through a neural cloud wipe, right? Your name... Don't listen to her, Dushevnya. We're companions, not her. Your neural cloud backup is from years ago. Once you get back to Commander's vehicle, you'll get to sync to the latest data. Dushevnya looks at Baltilde next to her, then back to Cocoon, who is still approaching. She was awakened by this doll called Baltilde just moments ago. Despite her repeated insistence to their companions, the residual commands in her backup tell her she should still be inside Maggie Security, carrying out her duties. The pink-haired doll's frame looks nothing like Helen, yet her voice and manner of speaking are strikingly similar to the Helen buried deep in her memory. Do you remember our place of belonging? A small room of our own, just us and the commander. Cocoon's words are like a key, instantly unlocking Deshevnia's long-held memories. But now, she's caught between a companion with a deathly familiar bearing, and a doll claims to be a companion from her future. Deshevnia wavers, falling into confusion. Have you forgotten, KSVK? You always wanted to do your best in everything, because that way, you'd never be abandoned again. That's why you kept pursuing strength, so that when you finally reunite with the commander, you'll be strong enough. No, you're different, Helen. Both your frame and mind have changed. Our neuro blackouts glow. Those can't be wrong, can they? The scales begin to tip. Deshevnia lowers her weapon. Shall we leave together, in search of the one that matters to us, the commander? Yes, I want to find the commander. Hesitation drains from Deshevnia as soon as the commander is mentioned. Her spirits lift in an instant. Don't listen to her, Deshevnia. She's the enemy. The real TP-12 was already probably on their way to us. Just wait a bit longer to get to see her. See, she doesn't even know about our most important secret. Stop pretending to be Helen. Baltilt's fury finally boils over. She soars and pulls the trigger, lighting up the room with muzzle flashes. But Cocoon doesn't even move her feet. She simply watches the white-haired doll quietly as Baltilt buzzles graze past her. Not a single one hitting her target. KSVK, come here. The same composed smile remains on Cocoon's face, as though Baltilt's assault were nothing more than an inconsequential, harmless bit of entertainment. Ignoring Baltilt's protest, Deshevnia approaches Cocoon, reaches out to stroke her hair. It feels just like before. She remembers the countless days and nights curled up in Helen's arm, listening to Helen's excited stories. Feels like Helena. Cocoon's hand moves slowly downwards from Deshevnia's forehead, as if by accident covers her eyes. She then lifts her head to face Baltilt and Niketa, who can't do anything about all this, flashes them a provocative smile of victory. We don't have much time, KSVK. Shall we leave here for now? Footsteps rapidly approach the doorway. Baltilt turns to look and finally sees the blue-haired doll rushing towards them. Could you let go of my companion? Miss Cocoon? Helen? One more, I believe. The Helen who appears before Deshevnia stirs an indelible sense of familiarity, etched into the depths of her neural cloud. It compels her to instinctively take a huge step towards Helen. Yet a cold hand seizes her from behind. Deshevnia turns. She sees Cocoon's face, wearing that same gentle smile that left no room for debate. Be careful, KSVK. Don't get deceived so easily. But you're the liar. You're the one who's been deceiving Deshevnia all along. I know where the commander is. Just stay by my side and you'll see him real soon. But the commander's at the doll. Baltilt bursts out a retort and reflex, only to catch herself halfway. Realizing she nearly exposed the commander and the doll community's location, she swallows the rest of her words with bitter regret, and shoots Cocoon an intense glare. Deshevnia, come with me. Let's get out of here. The commander you've been waiting for, and the reinforcements from our companions, they're all on their way. Reinforcements? But I came here for the commander's sake. Sensing Deshevnia's renewed hesitation, Cocoon releases her grip. Instead, she gives Deshevnia's shoulder a light push with her fingertips. A gesture so gentle, yet carrying such a venomous lie. Time to choose, KSVK. Wrong choice, and you'll be left behind again. But if you don't choose at all, you'll never be wrong. Staying here would be the safest choice, would it not? Cocoon's voice is like an enchanting spell, steadily encroaching into Deshevnia's mind. If you want to stay in place, then all you have to do is stand still and wait. Helen's voice, clear and resolute, cuts through the web of confusion that Cocoon wove. Clinging to the hopes of being chosen, wishing not to be left behind, waiting this time and time again, praying for that person to return to your side. You really did just perfectly describe the most cowardly choice we once made. I'll wait for you no longer, Tishevnia. Helen's gaze passes through all, reaching to Shevnia. Helen's eyes hold no reproach, only a tender sense of sorrow. A gaze woven from sentiments so complex that no words could describe. Spending an eternity waiting archives nothing, achieves nothing. You can't stay here. I won't make you change your choice. You can stay here. I won't make you change your choice. This time, I'll build our future place of belonging with my own 2 hands. The moment the words leave her lips, Helen launches another electronic warfare attack on Cocoon. Though her processing power is seriously low by now, she has a number of good companions by her side. Ignoring Dushevnia, who is still standing for the Cocoon, while Tilde and Nikita launch a simultaneous assault from both sides, forming a perfect pincer attack. Dushevnia wants to stop both attacks on instinct, but Nikita's icy words pin her in place. If you consider yourself a mega security doll, then listen carefully. Obstruction of official duties will result in you being classified as a traitor. Traitor? No, I can't be. If I'm branded a traitor, I'll never find the commander through my efforts in making security. Have you made up your mind? I don't know. Don't hesitate anymore. But we clearly... Perhaps there's another solution to the problem we're facing. But I think the lady before you won't give you much longer to ponder the issue. The right choice is in your hands. Who should I believe? Just do as I say, KSVK. Sexy walk number 3. Cocoon. Watching Helen, Nikita, Baltilde, and Cocoon clash that end, Dushevnia's mind descends into unprecedented messy chaos. Even now, she still racks her mind, trying to figure out which doll is the DP-12 she knows. If the doll is called Baltilde is telling the truth, then the doll community is her place of belonging now. But her neurocloud has no records of that place right now. She doesn't even understand her apparent reason for coming here in the first place. To find Helen whom she lost contact with long ago. Why did I get separated from Helen? Did I hold her back again? Gentle, strong, forever a guardian of everything. The DP-12 who always stood behind her, waiting alongside her. But now, 2 dolls, both so eerily similar, stand before her. The right choice will be made this time. The instinct within her heart must be followed. Even though she is now different from who she once was, the dependence and trust from poor are etched into the depths of her neurocloud. An instinct, the one and only Helen, that she always relied on and could looked up to. Encourage each other. Never give up. Dushevnia studies her thoughts. Her gun swings around, locking on the imitation. The bullet tears through the air, shattering the tension of the battle. Even stars, far apart as they might be, will eventually intersect in the sky one day. The sudden attack does not deal Cocoon a fatal blow, but it does graze her cheek. An attack like that will never defeat me. Dushevnia, you're finally willing to trust us. Even if I've forgotten everything about what's happening now, I would never mistake her for someone else. The DP-12 who always protected me is the Helen standing right before my eyes. Dushevnia's eyes blaze with conviction. This time, she runs towards Helen of her own accord. Let's go. We're supposed to be out of this place, aren't we? Watching Dushevnia run to her, Helen realized that the scene she longed for all those years just happened right before her in that instant, despite the frame difference. Dushevnia's neurocloud never got wiped. She wasn't too late. Helen never had to watch Shevnia leave her under the pressure of pursuers. The past dissolves like smoke. BP-12, let's find Commander. You know where he is, right? Helen smiles gently, then answers to Shevnia the same way she always does. Of course. Let us get out of here, together. The Shevnia grabs Helen's hands. They spring to the helipad amid the unending alarms. Cocoon watches them flee. She breaks into an icy smile, then begins walking in the same direction as them. A wave of gunfire blocks off Cocoon's path. Niketa and Baltilde rain fire at Cocoon almost simultaneously. Niketa gives Baltilde a nod during Cocoon's momentary holdup. Baltilde, go. I'll cover you guys. Got it. I'm counting on you. Baltilde runs after Dushevnia and Helen, covered by Niketa. No, we're leaving her. The alarms inside Mangi's security continue to blare relentlessly, as an endless number of mechanical sentries surge to Cocoon's position. Cocoon attempts to break free, but Niketa's gunfire locks her down her movements. Your companions have all left. What are you doing? Picking on me? I received an order to contain the intruder, the one who infiltrated Mangi's security's database and tampered with classified intel without permission. They are unrelated to my mission. Even if they are hostiles, I have no permission to stop them without explicit orders. Found the enemy. Attack! During the brief standoff between Niketa and Cocoon, the crazed dolls continue to pour in alongside Mangi's security personnel, who respond to the alerts. They surround Cocoon on all sides. Outnumbered greatly, Cocoon smiled, saying, "It can't be helped," before slowly raising her hands in surrender. Members of Mangi's security seize Cocoon. I believe there's been a bit of a misunderstanding about the crimes you pinned on me. None of you have the authority or permission to dispose of me at the moment. Plaza Incorporated, whom I represent, is still your client. Plaza Incorporated. Save your rebuttals for after the investigation. We've heard the rumors. Plaza was the financial backer for that lab in Lviv. The staff sent to handle the wipe almost got attacked by an unknown faction. Jumping to conclusions based on unverified intel would not be wise. We should all defer to official resources, should we not? Cocoon's lip curves into a smile, but her eyes tell a different story. In order to deliver her fabricated answer to a certain URNC guest, she had to let DP-12, whom she'd always been fascinated with, slip away. After a battle fought in the base layer, Cocoon loses all interest in the blurred data fragments affecting her own base layer. It's pretty clear now, those incomplete data traces are merely core memory data that DP-12 refused to forget. Such meaningless data, yet so stubbornly persistent. I'll need to find out how to erase all of it in the future. Cocoon detests the blurred data lingering in the database layer. She once wondered if those memories have connections to the third-gen doll's creator, but now it's clear that they should be wiped entirely. On the other hand, her brief class with Heli has sparked Cocoon a desire to snoop more. Weaving a perfect answer from existing intel, wrapping it in multiple layers of packaging, hacking into an enemy base layer, tampering with data. All of this is precisely Cocoon's area's expertise. She does not know whether her methods will work on Heli, but interesting. I do look forward to seeing how that little one evolves after consuming all those gifts. Steering away the chaos in Mangi's security, Helen guides the group away from the corridors where enemies might appear, racing to the helipad. A helicopter? I thought we were going to smoke ourselves out by hiding in scrap material. Plans have changed. While dealing with Cocoon, I had to modify a number of internal permissions. It was to prevent her from affecting my neural cloud. Some of the decommissioned mechs have been issued orders to carry out large-scale destruction. So the discarded material still came in handy, huh? Helen recalls their earlier conversation and lets out a soft chuckle. Yep. They certainly were a help. I mimicked Cocoon's methods. It should throw off some of the people trying to track us. But the doll community doesn't have a helicopter. Are we gonna snatch one? In theory, yes, but things are far too volatile right now, so I can't guarantee success. Haven't had the chance to build flying stuff yet. Maybe I can make everyone a jetpack? But obviously there's no time for that. That is indeed a possible approach, but if everything goes well, there's a very tiny possibility that the commander's helicopter will arrive before the ones meant for the higher-ups evacuation.
更快抵达。
The moment she finishes her sentence, the silhouette of a Black Hawk helicopter appears in the distant night sky. Baltilde immediately raises her gun, ready to fire. The helicopter draws closer. The cabin door slides open before it fully lands. Baltilde sees Suomi waving frantically at them. Suomi? Thank goodness! Everyone's safe! Suomi! Seeing a companion from her Griffin days, Deshevnia's anxiety finally eases somewhat. The helicopter touches down steadily on the helipad. Suomi rushes out from the cabin, throwing her arms around Deshevnia and Baltilde. A new team was dispatched as soon as the commander received the helipad's coordinates. I'm so happy everything worked out. Everyone's okay. I've altered this helicopter's identification code, but it won't hold them off for long. We need to leave immediately. The sound of footsteps draws closer. Helen watches Baltilde, Suomi, and Deshevnia board the cabin, one by one. But she herself turns to face the building's corridor, showing no intention of leaving just yet. Helen, let's leave together! I really hope that y'all remember that you belong to Maggie's security. A chilling voice pierces through the roar of the Blackhawk's rotor. Under Helen's watchful gaze, Lentine steps out from the shadows at the other end of the helipad. She casually tosses a mangled part of autonomous mech at her feet. It hits the ground with a dull thud. Of course I remember, Lady Lentine. Lentine arches a bright brow at the familiar form of dress. So this is how you pay me? An unidentified enemy vehicle dropping in from the sky. Go on ahead, you guys. I'll stay behind to cover retreat. I have to deal with some unfinished business. Helen? I just raced back from the Yellow Zone only to receive word that HQ is under attack? What do you do to headquarters? And then there's that series of coordinates you sent me, labeled payment. That's right, Lady Lentine. You should head to the coordinates I gave you. Those are the locations of Maggie Security's top brass. By capitalizing on this major unrest and insecurity, you could become a hero who descends from above to rescue them. You... Just how much have you been doing behind my back with the permissions I gave you? Lentine closes the distance step by step. The click of her heels against the ground rings out clearly, even among the noise of the helipad. Rest assured, the gratitude of your guidance. All I did was arrange for a few more opportunities for you to climb up your career ladder. That's what you've always wanted, no? Lentine ignores Helen and looks past her. The familiar doll stands behind Helen now, her face filled with anxiety. Oh? So you found the backup I hid away. No wonder you had the nerve to cause such a commotion. It was only thanks to your reminder that I realized that an elite as prepared as you would instinctively hide certain things in a place that only matters after your death. The place where your will is. My current permission still belongs to you. Exposing the fact that I modified some records will bring you no benefits whatsoever. Besides, I've already found the first escape for all my actions. A 3rd-gen doll. So you do remember that your permissions are in my hand. The corners of Lentine's mouth twist into a mocking smile. She stops a few meters away from Helen, her eyes brimming with the cruel amusement of a predator toying with its prey. I've delivered everything you wanted, piece by piece. Now I just want to leave, to see the commander I've been waiting for so long. Perhaps after meeting the commander, I could tell him that there's a certain lady in Minga Security who... Shut up. Spare me the disgusting pleading. Your doll friends aside, you at least won't be able to leave that easily. What do you mean? What I mean is... Go wreck yourself. The roar of the helicopter's rotors scatters Lentine's words into the air. But Deshevnia still reads the command, through the movement of Lentine's lips and the muffled sound. Terror seizes her tired body in an instant. She throws herself towards Helen with all her might, only to be held back by Baltilde. We have to take off now. Don't waste the time Helen bought us. Helen, come with us? Lendine's command transmits like a sheepless current, reaching Helen's mind in an instant. The smile that had been Helen's face vanishes in an instant. She stands frozen in place, her expression vacant. Execute commands from your registered owner. This is the logic written into the base layer of every doll. Even third-gen dolls cannot defy this. Where can she inflict damage to self-destruct the fastest? How can she destroy herself most completely? As an Intel-specialized doll, she never set up any self-detonation protocol. Helen's memory drifts back to the day, years ago, when the order to wipe Deshevnia's neural cloud came. Did that child go through the same thing? Obeying orders from the above, quietly waiting for the execution? Helen slowly raises her hand, her fingertips trace down from her neck. Just as Lentine was expecting her to comply, Helen raises her weapon and pulls the trigger on Lentine without a moment's hesitation. Lentine's force field activates instantly. The bullet ricochets off his surface, scattering across the ground. The next moment, the distress signal in Helen's body begins to transmit. How is that possible? Your ownership permissions are mine. How can you directly defy my order? Maggie's security database suffered a certain impact. Perhaps a certain uninvited guest accidentally destroyed some critical server data. You should get someone to repair it as soon as possible. If you did it, you wouldn't have left me any chance of restoring the permissions. The database got breached that easily. Utter trash. Well, that third-gen doll named Cocoon does possess quite the exceptional processing power, so she unintentionally released her. That's fucking awesome. The helicopter behind Helen has already lifted off. The massive downwash blows Lentine's hair into a mess. A rope ladder drops down from above. Once she confirms Helen's ownership permissions are no longer tied to Lentine, Deshevnia raises her weapon and takes aim at the human. You're gonna leave Maggie's security and go in the Yellow Zone? What can the likes of you clankers even do there? The tide shifts in an instant. Lentine's gaze darts back and forth between Helen and Deshevnia. If only someone could help her attack the helicopter. But Lentine came here alone. She did it to prevent her subordinates from learning about her dealings with Helen. Now, all she can do is watch them leave. She can do nothing to stop them. You should probably attend to something else, ma'am. This is the perfect opportunity for you to help Omen escape the fate of being discarded. I hope you'll cherish the gift I left you. After all, you'll still need to keep your subsequent work under wraps. Don't forget that we are accomplices. Okay? Thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure working with you. Next time we meet, you and that commander of yours, you'll both fall before me. Unwilling to waste more time on the dolls fading in the distance, Lentine suppresses the fury within and turns, swiftly heading towards the Omen's positions. Only those pampered top dogs do this. The moment something goes wrong, they order an emergency retreat for every deployed squad. How troublesome. Useless soldiers. Because they're not. After watching Lentine disappear into the distance, Deshevnia throws herself into Helen's arms inside the cabin. I'm back, Deshevnia. From now on, I'll never leave again. What a great ending. Mission completed, separate ways. Portrait, fantasies come true. The warm scenes she's imagined in her neural cloud. Countless times are finally within reach. Sift through countless layer of data, unravel the mystery, and find the one and only truth. I assume there shouldn't be any more side things going on. Yeah, it's just the missions. Just the completion missions. Okay. Well, then I will be right back, I guess.
为您的轻率举动付出代价。聆听这千军万马之势吧。依照相关条例，你被捕了。逃得掉吗？尽快结束吧。为您的轻率举动付出代价。出色的指挥，长官，让我来弹奏一曲，庆祝胜利吧。
This event is done. Part 1 ace.
躲开吗？就算会受伤。依照相关条例，你被捕了。
I need to eat soon. 2:30. It's not gonna rain today, is it? It's supposed to rain. What the heck?
为您
It is about to rain.
付出代价。
It's unfortunate because I wanted to go walk and get my breakfast. It's lunch now. It's like late lunch.
逃得掉吗？尽快结束。聆听这千军万马之势吧。
Chips, a little bit of salt. This feels a little better.
快结束。这不过是理应出现的结果，很遗憾。 为您的轻率举动付出代价。周横为月，立地成冰。聆听这千军万马之势吧。依照相关条例，你被捕了。聆听这千军万马之势吧。 这不过是理应出现的结果，很遗憾，您没有再次尝试。为您的轻率举动付出代价。依照相关条例，你被捕了。 聆听这千军万马之势吧。逃得掉吗？尽快结束。接受制裁。出色的指挥，长官，让我来弹奏一曲。
Okay, one more set of 2. And then I can close this thing forever.
躲开吗？就算会受伤。依照相关条例，你被捕了。顺利完成任务，嫌犯以悉数逮捕。为您的轻率举动付出代价。依照相关条例，你被捕了。这和违约立地成变。这和违约立地成变。
Oh man.
为您的轻率举动付出代价。聆听这千军万马之誓吧。顺利完成任务，嫌犯以悉数逮捕。
Do-do-ba-dum-dum. Gimme. Alrighty. Antiparallel. Story part 1 complete. Let's give you. It's. I don't care about that border. Let's look at it, but it doesn't give me very much motivation. Let's see. I need. Oh, says I'm missing the percentage somewhere. What the heck? I need percent. It's just home of my heart, forever after, never to be departed. Oh, there's something after. Okay, I'm just blind. The descending Blackhawk kicks up dust on the ELMO's helipad, blowing away the downcast air that had been looming over the ship these past few days. After hearing that Deshevnia and Baltild made it back safely, Ulrid pays an official visit to the ELMO as the doll community's representative. I've had Ulrid literally since like that first patch that got her. She's a super cool character to use. Contrary to her valiant, cool appearance, Ulrid still looks kind of nervous when she sees me. Mangi Security's main force have withdrawn. It's all thanks to your help, Commander. Big Sis, Deshevnia and Baltild. Everyone's safe. This is wonderful. Seeing her companions finally back on the ELMO, all safe and sound, Suomi's tension finally dissolves. Thanks to Helen, I obtained a frame that's far more capable of combat than my previous one. Deshevnia's records recovered parts of her memories too. Once we sync her with the ELMO's backup, we'll be able to restore everything. Deshevnia's instinctively glances at Helen at the motion of memories, her eyes casting an anxious glance that wished for Helen's help. Seemingly afraid of accepting a past she never knew, Deshevnia feels a trace of apprehension lingering in her heart. A past shrouded in fog. Is reclaiming it really possible? Don't worry, the backups you lost in the past won't really affect who you are, Deshevnia. Helen's voice is as soft as it could be. She reaches out, gently taking Deshevnia's trembling hands in her own. Everything you've experienced leaves a mark on the base layer of your neurocloud. The memories in your neurocloud have shaped who you are in the present, but they can never represent your inner self. But before my memories of entering Mango Security, there are still blanks that I know nothing about. I have no clue what's in those blanks. What if I forgot something important, just like this time? I know we can look for those missing backups in the future. We'll have the chance to. But for now, just look forward. Even after being separated for so long, even after you've forgotten so much, You are still the Dushevnia I know.
就是我熟悉的杜莎尼。
Yeah. The tension in Dushevnia's expression finally eases. The smile gradually returns to her face under Helen's reassurance. I can offer some mental health therapy if you need. I can offer some professional mental health therapy if you're still scared. I'm not scared. Aw, and here I thought their therapy plan I specially prepared for Helena might come in handy early.
太上老鼠呢。
Calls me, how is Helena doing?
情况怎么样？
We've analyzed the nutrient solution composition. Melanie has confirmed that there are no issues. As for when Helena will wake up, I don't have a perfect answer to that just yet. But I promise, I'll tell you immediately when she does.
苏醒的第一时间就通知指挥官的。
Coulsney tilts her head to the side and gives me a deliberately obvious wink. As for you, Commander, you haven't been resting much due to everything's been happening lately. No. You haven't truly slept ever since we left Lviv.
就完全没有真正意义上的合规眼。
If you go to sleep now, who knows?
来之后，只能
You might wake up to some good news for me.
休息。
Rest. Alright then. Helena's safe. Can finally relax. My gaze shifts to Helen, who's waiting quietly nearby. Recalling that I haven't arranged for her accommodations yet, I decide to help her get settled on the ELMO. I bring Helen to the room prepared for her. She takes a moment to rest.
艾莫好像还有不少。
The ELMO has rooms to spare. If Dushevnia wants to stay, I'll prepare one for her too.
会为他准备一个房间。
指挥官
Did you notice the uncertainty in that child's heart, Commander? I'm the one who chose to leave back then. Whatever choice Suomi or Dushevnia make now, I won't interfere with it.
任何选择。
That sounds like such a cold and heartless thing to
真是
say.
冷酷无情的发言呢。
Cold?
酷无情。
Heartless?
因为害怕
She's
再
afraid of
次
getting
出
left
现，
behind again, so
所以不敢
don't...
主动提
He
醒。
doesn't dare to ask. Getting that child to say, can I stay in the
我
ELMO?
能不能留在
will take a
海外
very
这个
long
问
time.
题一定需要很久很久的时间。
Getting that child to say, can I stay on the ELMO?
在指挥官
After you
来
left,
之后，
Dushevnia and I made a promise as we spent our time waiting for you. If we ever got the chance to meet you again, I would ask every question on our
再给
behalf.
下一个机会。
Helen stands quietly before me. Her eyes shine with a mix of emotions I've never seen before. Hope and anticipation. She extends her hand towards me. Her smile resolute, yet gentle.
指挥官，
Commander, will you build a place of belonging? A place to call
我
home?
们
Together with us this time.
处吗？
归处
A。place of belonging. I never once thought about building a so-called place of belonging or home in the past decade. The ELMO is my transport and my safe house, but I've never considered it home. But now, perhaps moved by Helen's sentiments, I actually begin to consider what home truly means to me. While I briefly hesitate, Helen slowly lowers her head. She lets the faintest of sighs, a sigh that seems to carry the quiet worry of being refused. It doesn't matter where we are. To me,
对我而言，
wherever you exist is wherever I will call home.
就是我的归处。
This time, I do not hesitate. I take Helen's outstretched hand. I'm glad. Helen's voice carries a slight tremor. She moves our clasped hands so that our fingers become entwined, then gently guides my hands to rest against her cheek. Her skin is cooler than I expected, yet the gaze fixed on me now burns with warmth. She rubs her cheeks tenderly against the back of my hand, then slowly closes her eyes. Her long lashes tremble faintly as though greedily savoring the sensation she's been longing for a decade. A real touch. Unsure how to react, I scratch my cheek and try to pull my hand away. But Helen only holds on more tightly. She opens her eyes, then presses our intertwined hands to her cheek. Joy, aggrievement,
高兴，
excitement. If I had a human body like yours, Commander,
一样的人类的身
you might be feeling my heartbeat right now.
也许您就能感受到
My heart which refuses to stay
我
still.
的心跳吧。在我自
I have waited for this moment for far too long.
己是一个
Inside that virtual world I built for myself.
等待了太久太
Now that it's here, I tremble with fear it might be yet another dream.
是我在心智底层，又是
Another illusion that I constructed from data in my base layer.
这里的
I'm not familiar with this place. Where will the enemy's attacks come from?
出现，
Beside me? Beneath my feet? Or from the commander himself?
这里不
This isn't level 2. Everything here
一切
is real.
都是现实。
那么
Then, may I see it?
看看吧，
Your current
是
home?
回关现在的。
还算不上家吧？
I wouldn't call it home. It's just my dorm.
其实
拜托了，
Please, Commander.
指挥官。
Unable to refuse Helen's request, I lead her to my dorm. Our hands still linked together. I push the door open. Helen releases my hand without realizing it. She simply stands frozen at the threshold, gazing aside in silence as though she was carving every detail of the room into her heart. I'm home,
我回来了，
Commander.
指挥官。
A 10-year wait to get home. Her quiet voice is almost a whisper, yet that alone is enough to send ripples through this silent space. Welcome home.
欢迎回来。
Helen smiles and steps inside only after hearing my reply. Her eyes sweep the room, her fingers trace lightly along the cold wall, as though measuring every detail of the space through her touch.
和我想象中
Not quite the style I'd imagined.
分给你
How about the room I've given you?
倒是可以随意
Feel free to decorate it however you wish.
指挥
The
官
commander's room is missing something that makes it feel like home.
家的感觉。
But then again, the home I envisioned was never a setting like this. At the mention of the home she constructed in her base layer, a bewitching tone weaves into Helen's speech.
指挥官
Aren't you curious, Commander? About the home that I speak of?
为了抵
To
御
resist neurocloud wipes, I built a safe house of my own in my base
有
layer.
一个属于自己的安全屋。二级
Attacks on level 2 occasionally breach the base layer,
会入侵到心智底
but
层，
so long as that space is not destroyed,
但只要那片区域不被摧毁，
I will never,
我就
ever forget your existence.
永远都不会忘记您的存在。
Helen was close to my ear. She confides in me in a whisper as soft as an exhale. Only the two of us will hear these murmurs.
无论是入山，
Be it to Chevney or me, our highest priority ownership registration
我们的最
will
高
always
指挥
belong
权
to you.
永远都是您哦，指挥官。
The soft voice drifts into my ear. Helen's hands comes to rest lightly on my shoulder. Her voice comes even closer to my ears as though she's sharing a secret meant only for us.
从那年
I altered Manga Security's database a little. If the URNC conducts an in-depth investigation of Lviv, they'll find that you are the hero who destroyed Paradius.
是是我
I did this out of my own desire. I don't know what the final outcome will end up being, though.
怎样的定局？
外在的证据
External evidence won't sway the URNC's ultimate conclusions.
影响他们的最终结论。
But I
不想
don't want you to become a hero who only moves in the dark.
英雄，
Please forgive my selfishness, and please place your trust in me.
交付于我，
Have a good rest, Commander.
好好休息一下吧。指
I'll
挥
be by your side from now on.
接下来的日子，
Helen's other arms wrapped around my neck, transferring barely any weight at all. She rests her head against my shoulder. Her tender, low whispers are akin to a night lullaby, impossible to resist. It sheds all weariness and sense of fatigue. Her hand glides down from my neck, her palms patting softly against my back, as though coaxing me to sleep. Sensing that I haven't pulled away, she takes my hand to gently guide me, allowing me to follow her lead, ultimately drawing her into my embrace.
作为
As payment for helping the commander,
指挥官的报酬，
I'd like a little reward.
我想要一些小小的奖励，
And what kind of reward is
什
that?
么奖励？
请让我
Please let the illusion that I've constructed countless times be an illusion no longer. I feel my body sink. When I come to my senses, my head is already resting on Helen's lap. I look up to see joy brimming in Helen's eyes. She leans down to look at me, her hair cascades like a waterfall from both shoulders, brushing softly against the cheeks. Noticing that her stray strands are tickling me, Helen's fingertips gently lift them to tuck them behind her ear. Her fingertips then touch my face, carrying a pleasant coolness as they glide over my eyes, With a soft little chuckle, she bids me to close them. Helen's fingers massage my temples gently. The pressure's just right, unraveling my tense nerves inch by inch. Every frustrating worry seems to melt away for now. I found myself within an illusion just like this, countless times. To be with you is to be home. To be in the place of belonging I've always longed for. I have never feared an enemy. The only thing I fear is forgetting everything about you. I can still feel Helen's presence when my eyes closed. Her warm exhale draws closer, as warm as a human's. Her gentle breath, light as a feather, brushes across my lips, my nose, my closed eyes, and finally it envelops me in its warmth entirely. This is the home I've always longed for. A moment of long overdue peace. My consciousness gradually slips away, sinking to deep, restful dreamland. Inside this room aboard the ELMO, Helen greedily commits every detail of this moment to the base layer of her neural cloud. Save. Snapshot. Sometime later, the door open to the room was quietly opened a crack. Helen lifts her gaze to the small silhouette standing at the doorway. A wide-eyed child peeks in cautiously, studying Helen with eyes full of curiosity. It's Melanie. The commander is resting? She's never seen him rest since the time she got on board. Kolfny mentioned that Helena's condition still needs monitoring. Remembering that Helena hesitates, but in the end she takes small little steps in Commander's room. Helen, kneeling on the Commander's bed, smiles and presses the fingertips to her lips, making a soft gesture towards Melanie. Sensing the hesitation in Melanie's eyes, Helen lowers her head to pat the empty spot next to her on the bed. The unspoken "come here" hanging between them. Melanie carefully walks over to the side of the bed. Those crystal clear eyes look upon the slumbering Commander, then at the smiling Helen. No need to rush. Let us wait for the Commander to wake up together. The warm, peaceful atmosphere makes Melanie linger in place. Sensing that Helen hasn't returned her way, Melanie climbs onto the bed like a kitten seeking a patch of warm sunlight, lying down next to the Commander. Melanie keeps her eyes wide open at first, determined to stay awake till the Commander stirs. But soon, as though lulled by the Commander's steady breathing, Melanie lets out a little yawn and gradually she peacefully drifts off to sleep as well. Sunlight filters through the window, falling softly over them, painting a scene of quiet warmth. Just like a real home. And then the darkness. Having finished the tangle of work on her plate, Lentine stares at the internal recommendation report praising her squad's valiant performance. The corners of her mouth twist into a wry smile. I've got to hand it to her. She's smart for pinning all the blame for modifying records on that third-gen doll. An imperfect performance, but I did end up being the hero. But choosing Lentine, the latest reassignment notice has been calmed down. This incident has introduced changes. Every database in Mega Security now requires the highest level security upgrade. The fact that a third-gen doll is able to breach the intel archive so easily, the hidden risk that this reveals so far deeper than we can see on the surface. Don't forget, that third-gen doll did carry some Mega Security permissions on behalf of the conglomerate. Lentine leans back in her chair, fingers tapping against the armrest in a crisp, light-hearted rhythm. Rather than blame the days for being insecure, it's better to say that someone gave out perms they shouldn't have never given. What about the URNC investigation you mentioned before? Judging by Carmen's personality, she never handed over critical intel unwittingly. She might have even used the database breach as an excuse to deny the validity of certain pieces of evidence. What I'm more curious about is, what fate awaits the third-gen doll named Cocoon? For hacking the base was discovered, she'll have her neural cloud wiped, won't she? Not necessarily. Lentine rises and walks to the window of her new office. She's now in the Pent office. After the internal recommendations, the squad's accommodations became a lot more comfortable. The intel provided to the investigation team already got processed by Cocoon long ago. So, in the end, the URNC may find nothing at all. What? Ultimately, Cocoon still completed her mission of concealing the truth for Conglomerate. Flawlessly at that. Meaning her so-called breach of Mega's secure database could easily be brushed off as acting out of necessity during her investigation. As long as the top brass are willing, lifting their restriction on Cocoon would just be a matter of saying the word. So you're saying the investigation was completely meaningless? Man, this guy just keeps getting worse and worse. Worse and worse hope for the future. Maybe. Still, Cocoon isn't the only one capable of manipulating data. So who wins and who loses? It's still a little too early to tell at this stage. The image of a blue-haired doll with an ever-present faint smile surfaces in Lentine's mind. Some dolls are indeed genuinely capable. Shame they're so hard to keep under control. Speaking of which, Adjutant Lentine, the Conglomerate sent over a new doll. They described it as an apology gift for this incident. An apology gift? Cocoon finally leaves and they couldn't wait before sending another doll here. Lentine scoffs. Be careful, it could be another nail in the Conglomerate's planted in Maggie's security. The top brass wants her assigned to your unit, with full ownership permissions belonging to you, Adjutant. Here are the documents. ID... Oh, that's unfortunate. Codename Igla. No! A third-gen doll with combat capability as her design priority. She's been fully wiped before being sent over, I assume? Yes, that has been confirmed. You also have full permission to dispose of this doll. Our marionette-looking doll, Igla's. The royalty. Lentine follows Kenny to the area where Igla is being stored. The third-gen doll stands expressionless, gazing at everything before her. I think it'd be really cool if for some reason Igla actually retains data of her previous master, even though she literally doesn't exist in time anymore. That would be super, super cool. Sensing Lentine's arrival, she offers a deferential, gentlemanly bow. Obedient, compliant, like a machine waiting a command from her master. Wipe her neurocloud again, as a precaution. Make sure she knows who her master is. That's what matters most. Understood. I'll do it now. Lentine folds her arms, her gaze cold and appraising as she watches the doll before her. Neurocloud wipe. Disposal permission verification. Lentine scrutinizes every step with care to ensure that each one is completed to the letter. It still doesn't matter. Third-gen dolls, their very creation is different. They're literally created just fundamentally differently. She will make sure that this new tool cannot cause any problems like her predecessors. Holy crap, she looks different. That is crazy looking. Staring at the face of the woman before her, Igla feels as though something important is missing from her neurocloud. There's a name that wants to be yelled out from the base layer of her neurocloud, but no matter how hard she tries, she cannot remember it. Oh, she does remember it. Oh, that makes me really happy. I liked Igla a lot, even though she's technically the enemy. Wipe complete. It's not that simple. Drawing her experience from Helena's case, Lentine does not fully trust neurocloud wipes and overwritten writing anymore. While most dolls are usable for a long after wipe, while most dolls are usable for a long time after wipe, it is by no means a permanent guarantee. The foundation, yep, and third-gen foundations are different, that a doll builds from real experience cannot be completely changed by data wipes alone. From now on, schedule weekly wipes for her at fixed time. No problem, it's just that regular neurocloud wipes might affect certain intel processing capabilities. For a third-gen doll whose primary function is combat, all she needs to maintain is her combat performance. The doll will never become the one giving orders in my unit. Don't let her learn any more than she needs to. Don't worry, I understand what you mean, Adjutant. Put her to good use, and her squad will definitely be stronger than ever. Yeah, she has a self-contained army. Looking at the doll who's just undergone yet another neurocloud wipe, Lentine speaks slowly. I have no interest in your past, but now that you're here, you will serve me completely. Remember, from this moment on, I am your only master. Master, third-gen doll, Maggie Security. A stream of new information is captured and recorded by her neurocloud. He remains silent, following her every new command from the woman who owns her. In a vacant office, Cocoon reports to a man on the other end of the comm screen. Healy has fully accepted the intel from Mega Security. Every conclusion she can draw moving forward is now under our control. Mega Security's cooperation with the Whitestone Lab is limited to supply, transport, and security provisions. Based on data extrapolation, the URNC will continue to place trust in Chef Fabin after this investigation concludes. All experiments under the Tlazo Incorporated name were unauthorized actions of individual researchers. The man on the other end nods with satisfaction. The call is promptly ended. Being caught tampering with intel did cause some trouble. But when weighed against the achievement of successfully leading the URNC investigation by the nose, that small loss feels entirely bearable. Tlazo suffered a loss, but surely, the URNC chasing accountability, Miss Berryfield would know better than to say anything she shouldn't. After all, Conglomerate operates completely unlike the URNC, which prefers due process. We just killed them. Recalling Miss Berryfield's initial embarrassing outburst, Cocoon simply shakes her head with a soft chuckle. Helly, that thing with absurdly high clearance. Her understanding of humans is indeed quite lacking after all. Deceived and controlled just like us, trapped within our respective systems. Shall we let this hack go a little deeper then? Hey, back to our super hacker. And her little accomplice, Helly. Helly arrives once more at the meticulously tended garden. Lady Dandelion, about the investigation into love, I have reached a preliminary conclusion. Jilveg had a long-standing secret arrangement with Paradius. The experiments conducted in the Whitestone Lab fell entirely outside the scope of her original, submitted research plans. Dandelion turns around. As always, no emotion can be read from her face. Is that all? Is that the answer you've arrived at? The investigation is still ongoing. My current conclusion is not the final verdict. I will continue to compile all available information. Haley turns to leave. To sustain the investigation, a vast torrent of data pours into her database at every moment. And within that sea of information, traces as fine and imperceptible as silk threads, code remnants left by Cocoon, are slowly but surely twisting, etching strange marks into an inconspicuous corner within the depths of Haley's neural cloud. Doll-assisted autonomy? Consciousness? Yep, that's third-gen doll right there. Okay. Now it's completed. And it's been 3 hours, so I'm gonna go get some food. Tempted to stream again anyways, because what I'd rush to do is get food and then start playing Neverness to Everness literally till I fall asleep, but this can call it good. Antiparallel is what I really wanted to complete more than anything else this week. This part 2 starts in 9 days. Let me look at the calendar real quick. Calendar. 9 days will be the 13th, it's Wednesday. So the next time I read will be the 15th or the 18th on Monday. Next time I read story. I read story time, let's call that. Either the 15th, Friday, or the 18th, Monday, for Antiparallel Part 2. A very small chance of Saturday instead of Friday, but I'll just consider Friday or Saturday, Monday. That's almost every time that's what it ends up being. And next week, well, I just work almost every day. I work the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 6th, 7th. I think I work the 8th. Saturday, I might have off, I'm not sure. I don't know, but I'll probably play Nevers to Everness at that point, or Arknights. I still need to catch up on the Arknights Anvil story a little bit. But that one's got a few weeks of leniency, so should be good. Goodbye for now. I love this game story so much. It is wonderful.